Incredible! No! I hunger for plasma. I took it through my hands. I could feel it coursing through his skin right into my fingers. I must keep trying to rid myself of this horrible need for plasma. I feel a hunger. I hunger. I need more plasma. Oh, no!
In my country, we eat.
Plasma.
In my country, we eat. We've never gone the full 30 seconds, but I
so
needed it
good.
to get the links going.
Gets me
But
hyped. Fills me with plasma when I watch that video.
well, yeah, and we're talking about. I feel like I don't know if we've had that between just you and me when we're actually talking about Spider-Man. No Morbius, but we're talking about Spider-Man, and we are the Plasma Boys, and an impromptu bonus weekly geek this week because the next geek. Well, you guys had a side quest coming episode on Monday where I think it's you and Kirkland covering Gamescom, but there's a episode Dylan's been cooking at least I'd say for the last 2 weeks here. But Kirkland, he missed the Alien review, and now he was still sick after this, so we pushed that. So we got and there's other stuff, our top 10s that I've been promising the past 3 weeks, we pushed that, but all this stuff will come in due time. We will be doing it, but I am the podcaster, Tress, now. I'm joined by...
I not only am a plasma boy, but I'm also a Pew boy. Dylan.
Oh yeah, the Pew Boys finally. I feel like they say it's been a while, but I guess not Thunderbolts that happened, but it feels like it's been forever. Like we were just talking about, you and me haven't seen each other since Friday. That felt like forever. So Thunderbolts seems like a lifetime ago, you know?
It does. It does.
Yeah. But yeah, we're talking Florence Pugh. We're talking what we've been watching. We're talking some Spidey rumors. We're talking some Lego Batman. We're talking some Avengers rumors with Strange and Doctor Doom. So some meaty topics, smaller meaty topics, but topics nonetheless. And then I have, because there is a little less, I have a fun little thing to bring up, like a fun little game. I had this planned for me and Taylor on Tuesday, but then we got berated with news. So I was like, okay. And because it's kind of impromptu, I had this in the back pocket, but wait till after what we've been watching. You guys did, it was you and Kirkland on SideQuest, right? Because I haven't listened to any podcast this week.
Yeah, so the side quest, it's kind of
right, it's all over the place.
We had it on Monday. I'm not gonna throw no one under the bus, but someone couldn't make it, so we moved it tonight. That person couldn't make it, so now it's.
Yeah.
And I need everyone for this one, so I kicked it another week. So no side quest this week, but you'll get 2 episodes next week, and they're gonna be
Worth the
juicy.
wait.
One fun special event type thing, which is kind of my side quest, like 10-year fun event thing, and I tried to do it in July, and just schedules weren't lining up, so it's happening now. And then also juicy newscasts like Gamescom. There's another Nintendo Direct. Their new game Sword of the Sea. Me and Kirkland both been playing. So 2 big episodes of SideQuest, but nothing this week. Sorry about that.
Stuff's still getting revealed throughout the week. Like I guess it's not the. Yeah. I guess Jeff didn't think it was the biggest, but like today when they just dropped that, they're making a Halloween game. I'm like, that to me is a big hype.
I think there's like a big
announcement.
thing for Hollow Knight too that they like tease, but it's still to come. So it's the week of Gamescom. It's kind of like Summer Game Fest, where it's just an ambiguous like week or 2 of time.
Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, you'll get the wrap on that. Yeah, no, same thing as we said before when we were doing our top 10 video games and TV shows. Those were supposed to be done before GV Day, but that just happens because summer is just super busy. And yeah, right now you got
the news has
SideQuest.
just been ever flowing, man. This last 2 months is crazy. Obviously, it's like because Spidey's filming and stuff, but man, it has been insane the amount of like specifically Marvel, also DC.
Yeah,
I guess it's hot off the heels of 2 big movies coming out, but yeah, like. It's crazy how much the schedule has had to shift around because just impromptu newscasts are coming out of our ears right now.
Yeah, I think it was I almost said impromptu. I think it was just a reason of because you got Marvel and DC stuff going on, but then you also have both, like you said, Spider-Man, but also Avengers is filming too right now. Yep. And then Superman, because it did well, it was like, okay, we're going to green light. And that's a cheap plug. Like even Peacemaker's out this week. And that's the other thing too, is because James Gunn's been doing a lot of press. And that's what happens now with these movies, now that you have someone like Gunn and then Feige. So before it always used to be like that with Marvel, when a movie was coming out, he'd be getting interviewed and we'd always get these nice tidbits. But now, because Gunn's like a public figure, we get those tidbits
Gunn's
again.
Just on Twitter. So like, he doesn't have to wait for an event. He just has to open up his phone and then boom, you have news coming out.
Oh yeah, no, just like today. I think it was just on like his Blue Sky. I didn't put in the news, but she's like, yeah, my plan for the Superman saga is 4 films. It's like, oh, okay, cool. You don't have to reveal
that's
that.
like a huge top. That's a main topic right there.
Like you don't have to reveal that on your X or your Blue Sky, but go ahead. But yeah, so lots to talk about, lots of news coming up, and yeah, Peacemaker starts tomorrow. Alien we've been doing that. Dexter's been going. After 9, Dylan, are you ready? This Saturday we're watching a movie that's talked about a lot during GVDA, War of the Worlds 2025. I've purposely still avoided trailers. I've only seen the thumbnail on my Google TV of Ice Cube looking like he's in the computer. That's really all I know of the movie, and just people saying that they wanted a Geek First review, and it's kind of that we will review it in a mini way, but we're gonna do a movie night. So you ready Saturday to watch some Ice Cube doing whatever he's doing on a computer? You know,
I still have not seen an actual clip of it. And like I've heard enough through the grapevine that I think I know what's going on there, but I got to see it for myself. So I'm waiting. These are gonna be virgin eyes placed on that movie on Saturday. It's gonna be good. Well,
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, we'll start. I know there's one thing we wanted to talk about, but I was gonna wait till we do our end of both we've both been done or what we've been watching. So if we want to talk any spoilers, we can tell people to skip ahead or mute for like a minute or two, because I wasn't sure how spoilery you were going to be. But let me.
It might be more than 2 minutes. I got questions for you, man. I'm excited to lob them at you.
Questions that need answering. Okay, let me see if I can quickly pull this up before we get in this, because I just want to throw this up here. Can I? Okay, it is. So now this is my little game I have for you right now, because I saw this. This is just like a meme going around. Saw on Facebook. Stole it for the podcast.
Nice.
What do we do here? Make the best movie you can with $1,000. So I'm going to tell this for the audio listeners. So you get $1,000. You get directors: Martin Scorsese, $500. Nolan, $500. Denis Villeneuve, $400. Zack Snyder, $300. They just did him dirty. Lead actor: Brad Pitt at $500. Ryan Gosling, $400. Timothy Chalamet at $200. 100 for Chris Pratt, and then lead actress Margot Robbie for 500, 400 for ScarJo, 200 for Sydney Sweeney, and 100 for Rachel Ziegler.
Okay.
Ziegler.
I haven't seen her in a movie yet, so she's but she is the cheapest one, so I might have to fill in here.
She's the same as Chris Pratt, who has led multiple franchises somehow. You know.
I mean, when I look at the directors, so I'm not a big Scorsese guy. So if I'm spending $500, I'm going for Nolan here. So it's like, okay, do I go? I'll save that for a bit. It's either Nolan or Denis. So either I'm spending $400 or $500. So I'll factor that in there.
Espo says Chalamet's a steal at $200.
He is a steal at $200, isn't he?
I think Sweeney is also a steal.
Do I
at
have
$200?
to pick one from each category, or can I?
No, you don't have to. I don't think so. No, because it just said
director though.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, well.
Not necessarily. I guess it's like I could pick random director with a bunch of crazy cast members.
I would say you do a director, but I don't think you have to have a male or female. I didn't take it that way, you know.
$1,000 is not a lot of money.
No.
When I'm really breaking it down here. Okay. I am going to pick up Nolan because Nolan just makes, him alone. I'll spend $1,000 on him and I'll be happy. So I'll grab Nolan for $500. So that gives me $500 to play with actors, so I think that kind of eliminates the $400, $500 people.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go for that Espub's Chalamet steal at $200.
Yeah.
I'll pick up Sweeney as well. Man, imagine those two starring in a Nolan movie. Like
that's a big deal. Yeah.
That sounds crazy. And then you know what? I'm sorry. Maybe Rachel Zegler. Maybe she's better, but I know Chris Pratt because I've seen him in stuff. And you know what? I think him with Nolan, give him a more serious role. I think he could pull it off. So that might be who I got to pick, because with my extra $100. So I think I'd go a Nolan directed movie of Chalamet and Sweeney and Chris Pratt in a supporting or maybe a cameo type role. Maybe like a Matt Damon in Interstellar kind of energy for him.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, like a Mr. Man or a Dr. Man character. That'd be good. Someone a bit more on the slimy side.
Like he's not, main in there, but like he steals a couple scenes and you're like, oh damn, Chris Pratt was actually great in that movie.
Honestly, mine was the exact same. I thought about going with Rachel because like she's a bit more, I'd say, of like a serious actor. But yeah, to me, when I saw this, I was like, Sweeney and Chalamet are steals at $200. I would have changed some of these varieties. If to be any different then, because I'm always picking Nolan, if I would just pick Nolan and one actor, so just to be different, I'll say I'd do Margot and Nolan. I don't know what they would do. I don't know how those styles would go. I don't know if it would be like part of her Lucky Chat Productions incursions or what it might be, but that's what I go if I had to go the one. I maybe it's just because like I know you're not a big fan of it. I saw Brad Pitt do Ad Astra. I feel like I kind of know what I would get from Nolan and Brad Pitt working together. I don't know what I would get with Margot and Brad Pitt or Margot and Nolan together. I feel like that's something untapped that I'd like to.
Yeah, because we've talked about that. Obviously, we did the retro, and like Nolan's movies are generally very focused around like a male lead, and like most of the supporting cast is men. So I do want to see that. Yeah, I definitely want to see that someday of a more leading female performance for his movies. And then I was also looking at this. So obviously, there's probably a lot of connections between these, but Denis and Gosling there, they had that combo back in Blade Runner.
They did, yeah.
If you paired up that again with a Sweeney to round out that 1,000.
That's pretty good. That's yeah. Whether it's Sweeney or Chalamet, but yeah, I think those are both a steal. Whoever made this meme there, so
What about Denis and ScarJo? I don't know. What do you think about that?
That's what S. Bubs was pitching here. He said he'd go Denis, ScarJo, and Chalamet.
Okay.
ScarJo's tough because I know she can be a great actress. I think it's just some of the stuff she's picked as of late is very, Jurassic World. And I don't think she's bad as Black Widow, but like I just think that kind of puts you in a box where like
she hasn't done a very subtle role recently.
No,
or I'm sure she has, and I'm just not seeing them, but. At least in terms of like the big movies that you think about her on a yearly basis.
I guess, I think we have the gift somewhere around here. Maybe I'm discounting her, but where is it here? Like, you saw Marriage Story, right? With her and Driver? Yeah, she was great in that. So I think I think you can get there with her again.
That's a movie with dialogue, and Denis, as we well know, he hates words. So
then if you're going for a words director, then you got to go with the Marty route. Then it has to be Marty and then to me in that situation, then I put ScarJo and Chalamet because him and Chalamet did that commercial together, right? So they're in a working relationship. There's just something I don't know why. There's something about Sweeney. Well, I was gonna say there's something about Sweeney and Scorsese that doesn't seem like a fit to me, but at the same time, he did make Margot a star, right? And she kind of has some of that young energy. So
what's like the most chaotic you could do? Like obviously Snyder.
It's Snyder for sure.
Snyder with like, who's an actor that would be weird in this Snyder type movie? I mean, I feel like Sweeney could play like what's that movie we reviewed again? With Baby Doll in it as the character's name.
Oh God, Sucker Punch.
Yeah, I feel like she could have played that lead role. If she was 10 years. Older at the time, I guess.
I think the chaos pick to me is you got Zach at 300, then you go Gosling, that gets you 700, and then Sweeney and Chris Pratt. That's a combination.
Oh yeah, there's something dirty about that. For sure. That's like Netflix shells out their biggest budget ever for that.
And that's like we get some article of like, they didn't get along on set, like something like Chris Pratt and Gosling just butt heads or something to that extent, So. That's the SPF says I don't know if it'd make the best movie, but I could make the alternate for me would be Snyder, Pitt, and Sweeney. I think Pitt could actually be fine with Snyder. I think there's some of his like broisms that he could do there. So
that could be the third Cliff Booth movie.
Oh man, Tarantino! Yeah, it's just super slow mo. So yeah,
Zack Snyder, Cliff Booth. Imagine the action sequences you get in that.
All of the stunt work and everything like that. Yeah, no, that'd be good. So
you get the slow mo shot of him taking out his wife on the boat. You finally get that backstory shot.
Yeah, it'd be a 15-minute sequence for just a 30-second revelation. But yeah, so whether it's because I think the next time we're all together on a newscast is a couple weeks when we do Golden Geese D23. So I'll pull it up for. We'll hear what Kirkland Taylor have to say, and I'll keep my eyes open because the other one, I think this format's becoming very popular with memes. Because the other thing I've been seeing is a lot of room 1, 2, and 3, and it's always a picture of male or female celebrities, and you're supposed to pick. You've seen those, right? I'm guessing. Have you seen that going around?
I don't know if I've seen that exact format, but like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Age old time there. So but you said in our Discord that people aren't in, but you said that you got a girthy what you've been watching. So is it your first time you've been on here to talk what you've been watching since we've been at the 1994 vortex?
Exactly.
So
and I've been talking about all year how I'm super behind on my 2025 stuff. So I've been plugging some of those out, and I have a nice theme here. All of these movies are. Involve characters dying in really obscure, weird, or maybe even gruesome ways. I'm going to start with Together. Me and Nivi went and saw Together in theaters, which is, for anyone who forgets, that's the Alison Brie, Dave Franco movie where the trailers are really weird of them kind of like morphing together over time. I'm guessing you haven't seen this one yet. You probably
did.
wouldn't hit stream. Oh, you did?
This week,
You
yeah.
see it in theaters?
This week, yeah, I did. I snuck away at one point when everyone was kind of passed out. Oh no, not passed out. I was stuck away. There was one day where they went to a cabin in Vernon with Emily's friends, and I was after work just chilling alone. I had no
I'm
podcast.
kind of surprised
so.
you snuck out to the theater for this one. I thought this would be like a home watch, maybe a couple months down the road one for you.
I think just because I had nobody at home, I was like, "What should I do?" And I looked at the
You're
list
like,
of
I need
movies.
someone. I need to imagine.
Yeah,
what it's like to
and I
be
looked at
like-
the list of movies I wanted to see, and that was the one
I
that
guess
was
you've
up
kind of seen
there.
everything
so.
else that's kind of hitting the streets right now, right?
Yeah, kind of. Or the other stuff I've been catching up on streaming. So yeah, no, I did
Yeah.
see that one as well. Yeah, it was interesting flick.
I had a great time with it.
Mhm.
Like it's a very at times pretty serious and pretty nasty movie. If you're not into
Yes.
Saw and like weird body horror stuff, definitely do not see this one. But man, some of those I kind of want to open up spoilers for this. Is that crazy to open up spoilers for like a couple moments of this one?
I say you could do a couple more. If you're not seen together, skip
Okay.
ahead or mute for about 2 minutes.
We're
We won't
also
go
and
too
bring her
dark.
back. We're also going to do light spoilers. So just be
Yeah,
be warned
maybe we'll
if
just
you're,
do a double
into
feature
it.
that right now.
Okay, sure. We get back to back that.
Yeah.
Man, the freaking scene when it's like the middle of the night and they start like sliding together, drifting in the hallway, and they're like being pulled along the ground, and then Allison like scrambles to grab the pills out of the drawer. They get them out, and then they both yell like, "Snort them! It'll be quicker!" And they start smashing it and snorting all these drugs. That's probably the biggest laugh I've got from a movie this year, and I haven't seen Naked Gun. I'm sure that'll give me some bigger laughs. But my God, me and Nivi and everyone else in the theater, there was not a lot of people in the theater, but everyone who was there, except for like two old ladies in front of us, they were not vibing. with the
Wasn't
movie a
there,
whole lot.
five, yeah.
But everyone around us just like erupted in laughter. That moment was so fucking hilarious and over the top and goofy. And there was a few moments like that, but that was definitely the peak funny moment for me. But there was definitely a few, like even like the very last line when the parents show up at the house and they're like finally morphed together, and like the weird like amalgam voice that they had where they're like, hey, or like whatever the weird voice is, just died laughing. So I feel like the movie was obviously going for humor in some of these moments, even though for the most part it felt like it was trying to be serious. But I had a lot of fun with it, even if it was very cheesy and like kind of melodramatic at times. But once again, I kind of feel like that was mostly intentional. But I had a really fun time with it, even if it's maybe not one I'd vouch for best film of the year at Golden Geeks time or anything.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to see what the other guys thought. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It just, I said this on the Weekly Geek with Taylor, so sorry if you listen to that I'm repeating. I just feel like my con with it was a con that I have with a lot of movies this year is I just want a little bit more. I felt like the third act kind of rushes to a conclusion, and then we're kind of there. And I also said, because I told us on GVA Day, I unfortunately got spoiled on the whole amalgamation thing. I saw a screenshot.
I mean, they kind of showed it in they showed the last shot in the trailers of like their eyes connecting and stuff, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know we were gonna get the combo, like so
that's fair, especially after you see the monstrosity in like the cave, you don't know how it's gonna work out.
So I just wasn't sure, would that kill them? Would that do something else? But then I kind of knew, okay, it's gonna not work out completely fine, but be something different. But yeah, very fun concept, and obviously great chemistry between the two. They're married, so it makes sense. But still, it doesn't always translate. So the
other line that absolutely killed me is like at one point he's like sitting her down. He's like, okay, this is what I think happening. And she's, not really buying into it because it's a pretty crazy scheme. And she's like, he's talking about like, what about when our legs were stuck together? And she's like, what do you mean? I thought it was mildew. And he was like, since when do I know fucking anything about mildew? That line also killed me. It's just so random, but the Dave Franco delivery of it was great. So yeah, I had a good time with it. I saw that they're producers on it, so I'm sure they're pretty involved in it. So I think it was a good time.
They're going into a lawsuit right now because there's somebody that's claiming that they stole the idea from, but Franco's like, no, we got years of receipts to show that we didn't. So yeah, no, I guess they're going to court for some guy that
is it like an old school movie or is it like a newer one that's
no, I think it's somebody like I wrote a script and then one day he's sitting around, I don't know so I don't know if this is another writer or just somebody that's kind of Joe Schmo off the side and everything. Oh, that was my idea. So I think you have to prove that, because I've definitely had that moment where I have an idea and then you see something, but I'm never like, oh, they must hacked my computer and stole. I feel like sometimes there are multiple ideas that you just happen to, but obviously if there's a paper trail of you meet with a guy and then, because I can't remember, Oh, there was one really big movie. Oh, like the movie I love, like the Holdovers. I think you've seen that before,
I did.
right?
I watched
Yeah,
it recently.
that's one of those that like a person was like had a meeting, pitched a very similar movie, and then that company makes a very similar movie. You're like, oh, that kind of
yeah, that's
that
scary.
sucks, but I still love that movie. So and you never know, right? But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Okay, bring her back time.
yes.
So I think you shared your thoughts on Discord. Have you shared your thoughts on the movie on the
Yeah,
podcast
just
yet?
on the Tuesday because I did was I did a bunch of I still have a couple things to shout out that I've watched this week since the Tuesday, but I was like you where I've been trying to catch up on a lot of this year's movie. Not even the fact for Golden Geeks, just stuff that I was interested in and didn't have time because we were deep in the '94 stuff. So yeah, I watched that was. I think the first thing I watched out of the maybe there's something else, but it was one or two for the things in this year that I caught up on. So
And you love it. You're a big fan
I
of
love
it.
that's like top 10 of this decade. I'd say I can't say of all time or anything, but horror wise, I thought was fantastic. Not a perfect movie. I wouldn't give it like a 10 out of 10, but it had some gnarly stuff in there. I've said this before. The fruit scene that got me. I would have never thought that got me, but I was not seeing that coming. And then our poor character just turns around. That's what's going on. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, let me toss some third act. So once again, spoilers for this section if people are still tuning in. So at some point, and what's the name of the main actress again? Like the old
Sally Hawkins.
Sally, yeah. So at one point she says something about like I killed your dad, and then it almost is played off as like something that was like in the character's head. Then obviously she is doing weird stuff with like the body and whatnot. But like, is there something I'm missing there? Like, did she do something to kill the dad?
I honestly did not hear that line, so I don't have those answers for you.
It's like
I could believe
that.
that.
I'm trying to remember exactly the moment. I think it's when it's just her and the son in the car driving somewhere, and they're having a conversation, and then she's like, I killed your dad," or something like that. And then he's like, "Wait, what?" And then he almost like, it's as if he could have been like dreaming and heard it, or he like misheard her or something.
Really?
It was a really quick thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, see that I must have been like taking a drink or looking at some computer file or something, but that to me would completely track with what the character is, especially because before that scene, there's lots of weird stuff with her and the dad, that whole funeral thing of, oh, we honor the dead. Like I could believe, especially because I don't think they just find the dad. This is really non-spoilers because it happens the first 5 minutes. They just find him dead in the shower, right? So it's like kind of, it could just be regular, but it also seems like it could be under mysterious circumstances. So I could believe that. I guess she just maybe thought this person was a good vessel. So obviously to get said vessel, you got to take out the father to get there.
Yeah, that was just one of those things that, like, if that is the case, I feel like we needed more of an explanation about, like, some backstory going on there. And then I guess another question generally is, like, so obviously everything seems, it seems like all, like, the tapes that she's watching, it seems like all that stuff occurs at that same house, like, at that same residence. I don't know if that's actually the case, but, like, I'm, like, why, what's up with, like, the white summoning circle type thing, like around the property? That's what made me assume that all this stuff was like some ritual that they kind of created in this area, and like once you leave the circle, obviously the kid was like tweaking out and leaves that circle.
I thought that's what it was. I thought it was just like a massive circle to cover all the bases, right? That person
so you could put that anywhere
there.
In theory, like it didn't have to be...
I think so. I don't think it was the same property because I think that could be very hard to pull off, and I feel like then someone else would own that in the canon, like a very creepy figure that like rents it out. But I think those tapes were just kind of from anywhere, and that big circle is just to like, I think because she's dealing with a child in the videos, it's always just kind of in one area because like, oh, it's an adult, whatever, you can hold them down, or they're doing like the ritual right there, where this is like she's kind of living with this kid for a while. So I feel like it's to cover the base of, well, I need a massive circle because kids are crazy, run away, etc.
So did she just like find the tapes and watch them all and then like learn about the ritual?
I guess, I think so. Yeah, I think she probably, I guess there could always be a relation, but it could, I took it as like there could be some sort of rabbit hole theory because I mentioned this to you before I'd even seen it, that they had created a website that was like an in-world website that you could go to, and it's the same one she's looking at. So I take it as like she's somehow, daughter passed away and she just falls down the black web, dark web rabbit hole and finds this website that has this stuff. So, which is, could be a stretch because I think you can't just pick up voodoo easily, but I guess if you're motivated enough, you could.
Yeah. Okay. And then I get these last things aren't really questions, more so just comments. Is like, I felt like Sally Hawkins spilled the beans a bit too quickly to like the counselor lady when she was at her house. That kind of bothered me a little bit. And then also like, I guess the whole movie is kind of building to that moment, but to me, when she like backed out of doing the ritual, it just didn't fit for me. It just felt like after all she's gone through to back out, and I get it, maybe she's built up a bit of connection with this character, but like it never seemed like any of that was genuine, that she like actually loved or cared about this girl that she was taking care of, right? It was all like this game to get her to this point where the ritual can happen. So to me, that felt like maybe I just wanted a dark ending or something. Even though I was, rooting for the girl, of course. But I was like, when she's in that pool, she's done for. But then Sally's just like, you know what? Actually, nah. I guess I don't want to do this. So obviously, she was having a lot going on there, and I think she was damaged and probably like, bleeding out and stuff. But just some of the choices with her character, I felt like fell flat a little bit in that once we got to the house sequence with the counselor, I think.
Okay, no, that kind of worked for me because I thought that was a way of showing that this whole time she's trying to get back something she lost, but she could have built something new in this world when the character calls her mom. And I think it's a good kind of the whole movie. I know Clay was like, I'm not watching this as an allegory for grief. And it very much is, but that's what I did enjoy that, as far as if you let the grief kind of just bubble up and it controls you, you're gonna miss all this other stuff. Now granted, this is a heightened sense where this character's doing a bunch of bad stuff, dark magic, but in the real world it's just kind of like, okay, if you're so focused on one thing, you could, it's not the bridge you want to go down, but there is another bridge over there that might get you to the end point. It might be a harder road, obviously, but that did work for me. Even though I think what you said with the counselor, I think there's some things about the third act that is pretty rushed. Like, again, that's almost my thing with Together. There's a lot of things this year where I feel like third acts, I'm not sure if it's budgetary, or I'm not sure if it's like they were trying to make short movies on purpose, or they just feel like, I know there's many studios do this, that short movies do better in theaters. I just feel like this year there's a lot of third acts for me that are not missing like huge story jumps. It's just, and that's where, to your point, that maybe they could have progressed that a little further with that character at the end of like buying that, but it just, she says that thing and then it's over. But the haunting kind of ending there with the police finding the pool with what's going on there. But yeah, that did work for me. Maybe it's also because Sally Hawkins too. Maybe I thought her and I thought the possessed kid did a phenomenal job. That kid is just like, and I looked, he's been like 2 other things, nothing like this. Like they're like just like regular kind of movies. Like I could not believe this kid at that age was doing some of that acting stuff. I'll be shouting him and Sally out in Golden Geeks, because there was some really good stuff there. So
yeah, Sally for me was like an immediate best villain contender going in the mix there. So yeah, overall I did really enjoy it. I get, maybe it was just because there was multiple things in the third act that I was kind of throwing me off a little bit, and so maybe that's why the ending didn't quite land. But overall, really really great movie. Just I'll try and find that clip, or maybe I'll try and find where in the movie it is when he. Okay,
I know I'll probably rewatch it though, because
that changes potentially a lot about the story. So it's
absolutely
good to know about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 2 other movies. One is The Monkey. I finally saw The Monkey.
Oh yeah, how's that?
Which
How was that?
It's dumb fun. It's like the kills are very creative, and like the CGI for the most part is like pretty good. The story, I forget the name of that main actor. I think he was in like White Lotus recently, season 2.
James, right?
Yeah, he's the one. I thought he was super fun. Like he's just a really great protagonist to follow along in this journey, kind of like a bumbling fool, extreme, like the least lucky person you've ever seen in your entire life. Of course, which is like this whole movie's kind of about that. But some really messed up scenes, some really great CGI, of course, and effects and all that. It was fun to see She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany, she's in there. Which was
she's the lead of his next movie too.
Oh, sweet, yeah, because
Keeper, yeah.
I still think I've only seen her in She-Hulk, so it's kind of fun to build that up a bit more. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. But then the one I enjoyed a little bit even more than that was Final Destination: Bloodlines. So as I've mentioned before many times over the years, I'm a big Final Destination fan. I haven't seen all the movies, but like 2 and 3 and stuff back in the day were like big favorites for me as like a teenager. And I think this new one is fun. It's as cheesy and stupid and silly and over the top as the other ones are, but I think it's just like the thing that Final Destination does that is so fun, just like introducing you to a scene. It's set up to at this point that like these characters are all bound to die, and you just get in this movie. It's like one of the scenes is just like a backyard, and you're looking around, and there's like, this drink's like a little bit too close to the edge, and like there's a rake under the trampoline, and like there's a lawnmower over there, and there's like this buttons and hoses, and like there's all these things, and it kind of just slowly shows these things, whether they're kind of foreshadowing it or if it's like in the background, and in your mind you're just like, ooh, how is this all going to play out? And then eventually, like, the domino gets knocked over, and then all these things connect in some crazy Rube Goldberg of how these crazy kills happen. And it's a series that's so good at that. And sometimes they just do like a quick 1-2 punch kind of kill, but I've seen the trailer, there's like that scene in like the tattoo shop, and all these things are always so great and fun, and there's some really great moments in here. So yeah, is it an amazing movie with a great plot? No, but it's super fun. I think the ending's really great, without saying what it is. So yeah, I had a good time with it. There's like a flashback sequence at the start of the movie, where the CGI is like really, really wonky and not looking great. But it's the classic, like, oh, it makes it look like the 50s or whatever. So it gets the job done, I guess. But yeah, I had really fun with it. I think this one is like felt like it had a lot higher budget than the other movies in the series, and maybe 5 had a big budget. I haven't seen that one or anything, but yeah, as a fan of this series who hasn't watched in a long time, this was another good one to throw in the mix.
Nice. There you go. Some good catch-ups then for the year so far. So
huge Golden Geek contenders, of course. Final Destination.
Oh, Bring Her Back for me is going to be. Bring Her Back, I will be fighting for her. I don't know if in top 5 right now, but in many categories. Even some visual stuff.
It'd be in
there's
my top
some
5 at the moment.
Yeah, it is in my top 5 at the moment, yeah. But even some visual stuff, there's some score. That one blew me away.
Best visuals, no doubt. Yeah. Some of those shots, yeah.
Superman Mike says, I'm a bit late, but I'm going. Zack Snyder directing Wonka 2, starring Chalamet, Zegler, and most of the songs going to Zegler. That leaves me 400.
He's got 400 to spare, so he's just pocketing $400. Not bad.
He could. If 400, who would be the better? That's Gosling or ScarJo?
Gosling could really fit well in a Wonka type
I agree.
realm.
It has to be Gosling, who is in the Wonka 2 there. But yes, I think. What have I seen since Tuesday? I've been watching. Me and Emily have been catching up on Bad Reality Show. So I watched The Ultimatum, and then we're on Love Is Blind, UK season 2. So those are always just fun put on stuff.
Speaking of reality, quickly, I don't know if you saw that there is I've never watched Australian Survivor before, but right now they have Australian Survivor versus the World. So they have a tribe of Australian players, and then they have a tribe featuring Parvati, Tony, and Suri, and then like other people from other like global Survivor shows.
So like this currently,
it started this week, and there's
so
like
Poverty is on this one, but she's not coming back for Survivor 50 or whatever.
You are correct, and Suri is coming back for both. So we're gonna have her again next year. She's playing Survivor right now. Tony's back playing Survivor. So I've started that, and that's
Tony
so far. Tony,
is he
don't
on
remember Tony?
Well, yeah, he was my guy, Tony, but he's on that Australia versus the World one?
He is, yeah.
What the hell? But he's not back for 50.
No. He's not back for 50, but he's back for Australian Survivor.
But that's that to me is crazy.
Russell was on Australian Survivor. Sandra was on Australian. Yeah. But this is the first time where I think more than one has been on a single season. Like, I think Sandra and Russell were on their own, but this season is set up as like Australian players versus the world, because there's like also a girl from like Survivor Quebec, which is a thing, Survivor Finland, Survivor New Zealand, who are on this tribe with the American people.
So Russell did a 3rd season Survivor, and I didn't even know about this at all because he's
he did 3 regular seasons.
Oh right, yeah, you're right, yeah, because
he's
forgot
done a 4th season now.
Yeah. How did it get out right away like the last time?
I have not
he
seen
played?
that season, but I know he didn't win, and I assume he went out early because everyone kind of. He's not a very friendly guy, right?
He doesn't change his style up too. That's where Tony for me always eclipsed him, because Tony was smart where he went in there, and then the second time he got bopped, and then the third time he was like, okay, I gotta.
Tony was like the evolution of Russell type. He was. But it's literally just on YouTube. If you want to check it out, and I'm 3 episodes in because they released 3 episodes this week. And it's really fun so far. So I'm like,
I'm gonna have to deep
even though I don't know any of the other people other than the 3 Americans, but
those people you were hitting on, I was like, oh, they're probably not coming back for 50 because they're getting a little older, wear and tear. Do they really want to do this? But now I hear they're doing Australia. It's like these are names that would have got me in, because I felt with the 50, the problem is I did fall off on Survivor, and 50 has a lot of the generation of people when I fell off. So
half of them are from the new era. Yeah.
Yes, and I didn't have that same pull where to me I wish it was kind of like a like a 15, like some sort of dividing of here's from the first decade, here's from the second.
I think the reason for like a parody here, I mean, one, they probably just gave them like a huge paycheck just to come on the show.
I bet so, yes.
But then also it's a weird season. Like it's 14 players and 16 days. Like it's literally a 16-day game. So it's super short. So I think for all of them, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll probably won't even get hungry, you know? Like they don't even have to like starve or like be worried at any point. So I think it's a lax kind of experience for them, and maybe they can win. And I don't know how much you get for winning Australian Survivor, but hey, if Surrey can finally get a win on Australian Survivor, why not?
Yeah. Well, there you go. So that might be on the dock for a little bit. So yeah, I've been watching those. I watched Dangerous Animals. I can't remember if you were on a Weekly Geek when this was in the trailer rotation. It was that Jai Courtney shark movie where he's a killer and he like gets people on. He like gets people onto his boat and how he kills them. And he like puts them like he ties them up and he puts them overboard and just watches sharks eat them. Like that's and he's like
the
filming
Cliff Booth
them.
Movie is what you're talking about.
yeah. That they're gonna fight and everything. So I watched that. That was a really good time. It was like a solid like 7 out of 10. It was just a fun like kind of serial killer thing. Jai Courtney was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, okay. It's not gonna be a Golden Geeks. No. Okay. No, like if you really want to see something of Jai Courtney, then sure, he's really fun in it. But I don't think it was so good that I have to recommend to a bunch of people. But there's some good moments in there. It's an interesting take as far as the whole like shark business and abducting surfers and stuff. So it's a good time. If you ever watch or come across it and are in the mood, I wouldn't say, oh, don't watch it. I think it's still worth a watch, but I don't think it's not going to be like anywhere near.
I love the
sniffing.
poster. Great poster.
Yeah, there's some good visuals in there too. So it was just funny because I watched The Surfer last week, so I'm getting all these like Australian, water villain movies. I'm about 30 minutes into Death of a Unicorn, which is all right so far. Okay. Yeah, it's all right so far. My favorite person actually in it is oh gosh, what's his name? Who was Adam Warlock in Guardians? What's his real name? He's in Bandersnatch. Will Poulter. He's really fun, and he plays just kind of like an idiot aloof character, a character that would probably fit in like a White Lotus season, like that type of vibe. He's very fun. So yeah, so far it's all right. I'm waiting to see where it goes, but it's not. It hasn't been like, man, this is great so far, but we'll see. I'll report back in the future, and then I can report too that this was just on Tuesday. I said I was going into season 2, but the last 2 days I finished season 2. Man, not to spoil it, because who knows when this cast is going to happen, but I will tease that it'll probably at least be talked about or considered. Interview with the Vampire. This fucking show, man. I love the show. It not the same visually, but the same vibes-wise reminds me a lot of Hannibal, especially because it's about the two male leads, like kind of like cat and mouse sort of game. But man, this show is like, because I put it on after, because we watched for 1994, and then the night after, or while I was watching it, I went down Wikipedia because I was reading all this stuff, and I found out like Anne Rice wrote 13 books, and I've not read these books at all, but I knew there's another movie called Queen of the Damned. I've seen it a long time ago, but it's like connected where it's like a sequel, but like Tom Cruise doesn't come back to play Lestat. Like it's one of those where it's just like the characters are adapted again. So it's like, oh, what's the deal with all that stuff, right? Because again, what I've said about the movie is I enjoy the movies for the vibes. I think the movie's very messy, but I like kind of the world and the idea and the actors. But the show is fantastic because there's just so much more time given to it. Like the seasons are 7 episodes and 8 episodes, so you get 15 hours dedicated to like what that movie was, which was like 2 hours. So it's just so much more fleshed out. And I talked about this last episode, but Sam Reed, the guy who plays Lestat, I'm obsessed with this man. I need to see him do everything. But no, I was so determined last night. I didn't need to stay up, but I was up at midnight. I had to finish the finale because I was there. And I knew some things, but luckily there's like the last half an hour of things that are, one, they adapt things to the book, which I've never read. And 2, there's kind of, I talked to Chris Evans, who's a listener of the show. He said it's kind of like, some of it's fanficky. Like there's lots of stuff that's not in the books. It is like an adaptation. So for me, it was great though, because the last half an hour is not like the movie. So I didn't know what was coming. And it was like, I was floored. I was up at midnight, bawling my eyes out. It was incredible. It was so good. Like I'm trying to convince Emily, but even if she doesn't, I think I'm going to like rewatch the show in the next month. It just had me because the first few episodes I thought were good. Actually, the pilot's really good, and then after I was like, okay, it was good, but then I got hooked, and everything's it's all so much better. But yeah, I absolutely love that. So if anyone's not watched it, the third season's coming up, and I can't wait because I'm in like Dexter, Breaking Bad, Hannibal mode where I'm like watching behind the scenes stuff. I'm looking at all because they did Comic-Con last year and this year, and I didn't even watch the show, so I'm just like. I'm taking as much as I can. There's no date for the third season yet. It's just the classic 2026. But I'm frothing. I'm ready. I was surprised by how much I liked it because like I'm just curious. I like the concept. So what's the show version? But even when this show was announced, I was like, I don't know if that needs a show. Like I don't know. Like I was like the Harry Potter. Be like I don't know if this is like. I guess it can work, but like I think I did like who's watching this? But I'd heard good things, and now I believe the hype, and I hope it's not like Hannibal where it's a third season and then I'm crushed again. But luckily that show, the third season got renewed before the second season was already over, and it's on AMC. So if like AMC, they don't got like massive hits. So I feel like anything that's like got someone a fan base or just like look at Walking Dead, right? They have like 5 spin-off shows. They're just like, yeah, sure. And because I haven't read the other stuff, but I think it's part of this chain of books that Anne Rice wrote. It's like Immortals and Monsters or something. So they already have 2 other shows in the universe, one about witches and one about something else. I'm like, okay, if they're all in, because the cast and crew,
would there be like crossovers between people in that?
There hasn't been yet, as I know. Okay. I don't think so, but like maybe it comes down the line. But I think as of right now, there hasn't. But yeah, it's bold because like I've done the deep dive, and they say they want to do like 6 to 7 seasons of the show, but I'll take them all. I hope that Sam Reed pops up in something that we watch down the line, because this guy, man, he's just a creme de la creme. Like the talent, the layers you have to do, because he gets to play, like what I said to Tiz, he does do the scene, like the scene churi that Cruz did with Lestat, but he kind of like brings it down to an actual character. It doesn't just feel like someone's just at 500 all the time. Okay. And it's one of those things too that season 2, I want to watch season 1 because of quality, but season 2 revealed things where I'm like, man, I need to rewatch season 1 because it puts X, Y, and Z in a whole different perspective. Yeah, I loved it. So I highly recommend it for people, especially in October. If anyone's in a vampire mood or whatnot, it is like, they're all like hour episodes, so it's not like a quick watch, but I binged it just because I was hooked. So
we next couple weeks we're recording our top 10 shows. Is this guy knocking on the door? Or do you need more time to?
It's not. I thought that. I don't like putting it in there, but I think just with the ride and the high, it's knocking at the door.
Maybe when season 3's there, it'll kick something out.
Yeah, maybe it will, but I think it's etched to stone in there, you know. And because it's favorite list, it's not best, so it's just stuff that like this. Anytime that I'm binging a show just quickly like that I know it's got it's hooks in me. So
wait, is that streaming somewhere easy, or are you watching it on a DVD? What's going
Crave on? Is where I watched it, and then I watched the second season on Amazon Prime, and then I guess it's coming to Netflix. So it's one of those things where it's like God. They're all over the place, but it was right there looking at me. So
nice. Love that.
Well, you know what's looking at me is this news. We're gonna take an ad break, and then we'll be right back talking about said news. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So we kind of got a double. Well, we do got a double today in a sense. So I'm trying to think of how the best way to relay this. So we got one. I got a for sure news. I got a S tier casting. I got a B tier, but it's definitely to me solid gonna happen, which is the Florence Pugh. And then I got a bunch of rumors to do with Brand New Day, and that kind of happened from even when me and Tay, like we said, news been pouring out. So to start with this, the B tier, but again, this is the guy that said that Pedro was playing Reed. So and we cover his news a lot. So he had put out today that Florence Pugh is going to be in Brand New Day. No idea what the role is, the size of the role, but Florence Pugh is going to be in there. And then it was reported by the Trades Day that, let me get his name there. What the hell is his name? I know its last name's Tillman. Tramell Tillman? Yeah, so you know him, right? Because he's in Did you end up finishing season 2 Severance?
No, but he's in season 1. So
okay, good. Yeah. So did you just walk away from season 2 Severance then?
Yeah, I got 3-4 episodes in and dipped. I might come back, but I don't have Apple TV anymore, so it's one of those things where I don't have that, so I kind of just forgot about it, and people keep telling me to finish it, so maybe someday. Okay,
and then I do have a bunch of just kind of random rumors to concern with not only this Spider-Man movie, but some going forward. But what were your 2 thoughts about Tillman? He's playing supposedly a villain. The the word is it's not the main villain, but we don't know. Does that mean it's like a?
There's villains everywhere in this movie.
Yeah, like is that like a Tombstone Ramrod where he plays a side villain that just gets beat, or is he a a Norman Osborn or somewhere? It's like, oh, they're a villain, but they're more like a setup. We don't know. I there's not really any. There's a bunch of theories out there, but yeah. What are you thinking of that?
Okay, so you have to remind me what are the possible characters he could be playing?
So we had Tarantula, we had Ramrod. There's been Tombstone talks out there, and I think that's it. I can try to quickly look actually in my my documents here from the last couple of newscasts, but those were some of the ones. Ramrod.
Ooh. Yeah, he could be a Ramrod. I'm looking at some images online.
Yeah, half cyborg, half man, which I don't know if
I feel like his Severance performance a little robotic at times, in like a good way. That I could see him being a half cyborg. I could see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like? Because all I've heard, because you didn't see Mission Impossible, he's in the latest Mission Impossible. He kind of has like a scene stealing. I'd say he's in there for like 20 minutes. He's really good in that. And I still want to see Severance at some point, but I've heard nothing but good things about this guy. There was rumors back in February when Marvel was looking to recast Kang that apparently he was on the short list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my thing is that where it's like if he's one of these like Tarantula Ramrod guys, it's like from what I've heard about this actor, it feels like he does not fit the guy that gets beat in the montage, or he's like the side villain, right? Like that's my only holdup of like either one, he's not that, or two, I would question his agent because I just feel like like he's got I feel like he's got a lot of heat on him, you know?
I guess I don't know if like especially when I Google Ramrod, like I don't think that is what we're gonna see on screen in this movie, right? Like I think it'll be a different version. Not. I don't know if he would be like naked with like a little bit of a cyborg upper breastplate kind of thing. Like what's the guy's actual name? Let me see if I can find that information.
The other one was
unrevealed. Apparently it doesn't have a canon name, but I think they would give him
for
a
Ramrod. No name
according to the Marvel fandom.
The other one was Boomerang. That was the other one on the list. It was Ramrod, Tombstone, Tarantula, Boomerang, and obviously Scorpion. But Scorpion obviously has been cast already, so those other four are up in the air. So.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Spidey's not the kind of hero to kill off villains, so I don't think many of these people are dying anyway. So maybe they could come back again in the future. But I could see him playing this kind of guy. But like I said, I think it would be not as comic booky. You know, he would be, maybe a bit more serious, played off in a way. So I could see him being that one. That's the first one that comes to mind. But like, as well as I know, Spider-Man, these are some kind of obscure villains, right? So I don't even know a lot of these guys. Super well. Looking at Boomerang, I could see him pull that off too. That could be kind of cool. But like, I don't know. I don't think he's like a huge enough star that would warrant him being like the main villain of a thing necessarily. Obviously, Severance is pretty big.
I guess not the main villain, but to play like Boomerang, that to me is. I feel like that's an offer you slide back, in my opinion. If you just got some heat on you, I really don't know. And maybe some of these, because I think a lot of these are. We've heard rumblings that there's going to be kind of like a montage of a lot of these characters getting beat up. So I don't even think it's going to be like a Sinister 6 or 5 scenario where they all team up. And the only one that I think that I'm kind of fine with on this list is Tombstone, because I feel like Tombstone, obviously he's a bigger villain. I think he could carry forward. I actually think his voice, like Tombstone always has like a very deep voice. So I think Tillman's voice it's not deep, but it's unique where it kind of works for a Tombstone, I think. So, because I don't know, and I don't. We talked about this on Tuesday. There has been more scuttlebutt of like a symbiote going in here, but
like to just pull it straight from Friendly Neighborhood. Like if we get that Tombstone, but just like 20 years older in his journey, that could be a good fit. And like that would be interesting. Obviously, Tombstone, rather than being played by like some weird ghoul like he often is in the series, obviously he's like a black character in that. So just putting that one-to-one connection there, but that. That could be interesting, and man, like Tombstone in that shows, what a well done job of like evolving that character from a regular goon who gets beat up as like the first half of the episode to being like super dynamic and having a lot to him. And obviously, I don't think we'd get into that backstory here, but like that's where MCU fans can kind of feast on something like this. We're like, hey, you can imagine almost like that's what the backstory would be, like pull from Friendly Neighborhood if you want to fill in the gaps of who Tombstone could be. But if not, you can still just be like a fun villain in this thing. But yeah, I think that's a good pitch. I like Tombstone more than my Ramrod pick. I'll put Ramrod on the bench again, and I'll put him in there.
Well, you know what though, you could be right because credit to our patrons, people in the chat always. Super Mike did bring up a good point. John Malkovich just got cut from F4, so Marvel's not past wasting good actor and thankless roles. So you know what? Yeah, I take that back. He could be Tarantula, he could be Ramrod because John Malkovich is a Academy Award nominee. Like I'm not gonna say he's like a massive star name, but like he's one of the bigger ones, and yeah, they just cut him like nothing. So yeah, you're right. You could just be a paycheck, and he's in there for a little bit. And because I don't think there's anybody else in this movie, like especially now that we got Florence Pugh, this is getting to be a hefty movie. And if we don't know exactly, it's just little breadcrumbs. If the symbiote, which is looking like it's in this movie, is in the movie, that's like a whole nother addendum of stuff that's going on. So that's where it's like, I don't think. I'm just so curious what they're going to reveal to be who this main villain is, because there is so much. But yeah, that was the other news we got, was Florence Pugh, and that's very exciting. That's
So you're telling me that's a B tier though. That's not.
Yeah, that's a B tier, but I'm very confident that the person that put out
that's probably my fault for reading the headline. I pulled a Taylor Field because I saw that in the Discord and I was like, oh damn, I can't believe that's happening. But I guess it's not 100% yet.
No, I'd say it's like a 90%. I think it's okay. I think it's happening. Not saying that this guy's gotten everything right before, but I think it is happening. But yeah, what would you do with Yelena in Spider-Man? Because you got Hulk in there, you got Punisher.
I would give her a fucking scene with John Bernthal, and I'll just watch that scene 6,000 times on his Disney Plus. Imagine those two. Yeah. One, like the characters that they play in MCU, I think could be really fun together, but also just like, I don't know, have they acted in a movie together? I'm not sure, but like I don't think
so. No,
I want to see that. So I want to. It's tricky, man. Anytime we talk about Spider-Man now, it's like, okay, this movie already has a lot going on. Now we're gonna throw Florence Pugh in the mix. So like, does that mean that she's kind of relegated to like one scene or two in the mix, but like not really having a big impact on the plot, which would be too bad because she's great. But I'm greedy. I'll take whatever Pew I can get.
Yeah.
And so, okay, remind me. The timeline would be this movie's coming out, and then we're getting, Doomsday later on. So I guess, I don't know. Would this be a stepping stone to explain how the Thunderbolts because obviously they're all confirmed. They're in the chairs.
Yeah.
So we know they're in Doomsday. Would this be like a place to explain a stepping stone of that? And remind me again, Punisher, is that before Doomsday as well?
Yeah, I think that might even end up being before Spider-Man. I think it's. Okay. I think because Spider-Man's July.
Imagine she's also a Punisher, and we just get a little 1-2 run.
Now you're getting greedy. Now you're getting greedy.
Yeah, I am. But I think because right now, I don't know. Does it make a whole lot of sense for them to be in there? I guess they are the Avengers, kind of. If you ask Valentina. But I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of world building there of explaining that, even though, and maybe she's just kind of the representative, obviously, because the rest of them. Throw the rest of them in there. That's crazy. That's too much. You got to tone it down, Marvel, at some point. But I desperately hope this happens. I think I would love to see it. She would fit well in the Spidey realm.
Yeah, and I think there's two routes they could go. I think it's probably going to be this route where I feel she could be a bridge to Doomsday, and she is a person. Because what do we hear in the Thunderbolts post credit? Right, that they're the Avengers, and then Sam's putting together his own team. I wonder if there could be kind of the setting stage of her as there's a race for Thunderbolts and Sam to recruit Spider-Man, right? Like they get to him first before Sam does and X, Y, and Z. So it could be just as simple as that, which I think works. Like out of all the Thunderbolts, who you going to get? That makes the most sense. Spider-Man has no connection to anybody. So if you're going to get someone, you should get Yelena, who has the most clout and people really like. And I think it's been fun to see both of them in interviews. People have been sharing the clips and both saying like, who do you want to work with the most MCU? And they both had listed each other. So I think that's kind of fun. And I think like Yelena and Peter have that's a fun dynamic. So I hope what they can do is the two things where it is that, but what I would like is the way I've talked about before where, okay, so Spider-Man's alone and he's going to be a little bit depressed. Well, that fits with Frank, right? Frank's always alone, always depressed. And I'm sure Spider-Man's got some anger going on. That's where I think the Hulk thing's going to tie in, right? Like Frank's an angry guy. Hulk's going to be an angry guy again. With the Thunderbolts, Yelena was going through all that too about being alone, being depressed, not wondering, like having no one, wondering what her purpose was, etc. Like there is a through line of that character is going through similar things of Peter, and I'm assuming what they're going to do with Punisher and Hulk. So that's what I hope they kind of somehow do. It could also just be, like I said, that she shows up like, hey, I would really like you being the Avengers. Like, think about what they did with Nick Fury in Iron Man 2, where he popped up multiple times just to kind of pitch Tony. Like,
things up.
She could just be that, which, again, I think this movie could have a good possibility of being that, where I don't think Iron Man 2 is the worst movie, but the biggest critique of that movie was, it's just a big setup movie. And now it's like you have 3 different MCU other characters. You have all these villains, supposedly. You got Sadie Sink, who might be Gwen Stacy, might be someone else we don't know. So that's where it's like, that is my only worry, especially too, I have some other rumors here about the Spider-Man trilogy. It's like, that's my only worry about this movie, that it could, I don't want to veer too much into, hey, we got a lot coming up, so we're going to use this movie to springboard. Not saying that won't be not successful, but I still, especially after No Way Home, would like to see Tom. I hope we don't lose the core of what it is. And which, a good thing is No Way Home didn't. That's one thing to give it its credit. That had a bunch of villains, that had Tobey and Andrew, but at the end of the day, it was still a movie to service Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So I hope that's what Pugh's in here for. But she could also just be one action scene. Hey, you should really join our Avengers. You can't trust Sam. You can't trust da-da-da-da. And then boom,
what
we're
if,
on off to the races.
Well, because we know that Holland is not in Doomsday, right? Because of the conflicting scheduling with Odyssey, right?
Yeah, but because that movie's in December now, I think there's wiggle room. If they want to get him in there, they can. And especially like the fact that Ryan Reynolds is in there.
Yeah, that was just announced, right?
It's C-tier rumors, but there's C-tier rumors that John Berthnall's in the Secret Wars. I think that with me and Taylor talking about this, where I think with Thunderbolts, Cap, and F4. I think with the box office, they're really worried. So I think they're loading this stuff up. So I think Tom Holland finds his way in Doomsday.
Let me throw another theory at you then. Okay, so Hulk rampaging around the city, destroying shit. He's mind controlled. And they're like, how do we get him to calm down? They think, who was able to do this? Black Widow was able to do this. What if we go grab her sister? Maybe she can help. Maybe she knows Bruce. Like, maybe that's a way you pull her into the plot in some way. And, I hope they don't do like,
she's gonna sing.
Sun's getting real low. Like, I don't want that line with her because that would just be a little too on the nose. I mean, sometimes Marvel's really on the nose, obviously, in terms of her like superhero landing, doing that kind of joke. Sometimes they do that kind of stuff. But what if that's the reason that she's in this? She gets pulled in to help with this task, and then that's kind of their ergo like a connection point for Avengers stuff, or like if Spidey gets pulled into that, like maybe because obviously he doesn't know anyone, as you said, but like maybe he meets her through this opportunity and they gets pulled in that way. So I don't know, maybe there's a little something there.
You kind of reminded me, I don't know if they pull him in because the anger, but I do actually want to see those two characters interact, because I feel like Bruce would have, some sort of, not connection, but just like if he was close with Natasha, knowing she has a sister, and maybe even she, they could say off screen that she shared that to him. She didn't share that to many people. We kind of know, because obviously Clint knew that. They talked about it in Hawkeye, so maybe Bruce could be another one. They're thinking about running away together, right? So you feel like you might mention you got a sister. So I do hope that happens, because I think that's been some of the issues with the MCU recently, where there's a lot of good connections, and that's why I did like Thunderbolts, because you got a lot of those characters together and they kind of bounce off of past interactions, or like all the stuff with Red Guardian and Bucky or John, right? They refer to, hey, all these people are linked without even being linked, right? Even if they've never met, Red Guardian, because the super soldier serum, is linked to Bucky and linked to John, same way.
The web is crazy. The spider.
Yeah, and same way as Yelena is linked to Bruce, right? Because of Natasha, right? And that's where, out of all this, and I'm happy he's there, but that's why just John Berthnall is just the funniest.
Yeah, if you
ace
only
in the
pick
hole
one,
here,
you pick her and Bruce, or her and Punisher. If you only get one seed.
I think I actually would go with Bruce, because I just worry. Bruce, like, I think Hulk needs some juice. Where I think Punisher's always gonna have juice. I think you just get Frank on screen. To me, Punisher with any Marvel character, there's gonna be some interesting dynamic. I think Bruce needs something for us to like chew on, right? Because in She-Hulk, he was just there to he's like the video game NPC tutorial guy. Like that's what he was for She-Hulk, right? And then what else has he been? He's been a Shang-Chi end credit scene. And is that it since Endgame? Just those two things? She-Hulk, hey, here's my son Scar, and then Shang-Chi? I think that's his.
Oh my god, I feel like he was in one more thing, but I can't remember what it was.
I feel like it is too, but it's not coming to mind. So, but that's where the thing is, that's how bad that is, right? If it is, there's nothing that's that we're thinking of. The only reason I remember Shang-Chi is because that was setting up Kang, which obviously that didn't happen. And then I remember She-Hulk because we just meet on Scar all the time. So it's like I'm remembering Hulk for great stuff. So if there was,
I guess there was a lot
sort
of Hulk
scene,
things, but he was not in Brave New World, right?
no, he was not. No, that could have been. And again, that's another thing. That's where I worry, though. Right? We talked about that. They brought back Liv Tyler, no Bruce in sight whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
They'll have a montage of newscasters being like, Bruce Banner's ex-girlfriend, but they didn't tie that together. So the same way, there is a good possibility Yelena could be in this movie, and they just missed the layup of, oh yeah, they never interact or have anything to do with Hulk, or she doesn't even mention Hulk, and we've seen that before where I feel like sometimes they get too busy, so I hope that's not the case, but, you know.
It's looking like it, but let's hope not. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just some other stuff to throw out there out into the webs here. Where is it here? Oh my god, my mouse pad is broken, so that's great.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it actually is. It's just not opening up.
Battery.
These were some these are some updates here. Some other these are all C tier rumors, but I don't think this is anything that's crazy. The next trilogy is gonna be Tom Holland's last. Like, I think we all kind of know that. I feel like 6 is the handout to Peter. The villains, I guess, so far Marvel and Sony have had an idea to try to not plan it out film by film, but they kind of have like an idea of where they want to go. And I guess the villains have been tossed around for the next kind of trilogy is the Prowler, Hammerhead, Tombstone, Venom, Kingpin. So that's why my hope of like Tillman being Tombstone would be great if it's like a setup. Prowler, like I had pitched this to Taylor where I feel like the trajectory. I don't know. See how you feel about this. My pitch is if the symbiote is in this movie and it's on Scorpion, because the actor keeps posting Instagram. So, like he's just, I don't think he can hold his tongue. And did you see in the Discord the symbiosis poster controversy? Did you see that all last week? Yeah.
Pretty silly.
Yeah, but even the club though, they said, oh, we have nothing to do with those posters. That's not us. So like there is like some stuff going on, but my pitch was
but like,
that.
In what world are there just like posters saying that? Like that's so weird.
I don't know, because we just don't know what happened in the Black Goo after
that's
No Way
something
Home,
that would happen
right?
in like the Venom movie, but I don't think that would happen in the MCU.
Yeah, but what happens for some reason if that Black Goo in No Way Home is being used for other science stuff, or I don't know, right? Like got left, we don't know what happened to it. It just was in a bar
it's
somewhere,
like
right?
come in to do like some, get money to get paid to do this research or something like that. Yeah.
It could be, right? And Scorpion
But would
looks
they
like
advertise it as this really sketchy looking thing? Like, I don't know.
that's
like...
true. The black and white that is sketchy, but I do think they are gonna get to Venom because I've been pitching this. What I'm gonna say is Tom Holland's gonna get the black suit in the Avengers movies, and that's how you're gonna get him to fight Tobey and Andrew. That's my prediction right now, is because that's how you can do that. Kingpin, yeah, I hope that is true. But then and the Prowler one, go ahead. Oh, were you saying something?
All I had to say was sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Prowler, to me, that just makes the most sense because one, that's Donald Glover, so that's great, and two, I just feel like that's when you start to get into. You can set up Miles, right? Like I feel like that hearing the Prowler. I'm not calling him Spin. I'm not calling him. It's so funny. We were in the pool and I was talking to Ellie because the Scorpion news was going on. I'm like, oh, is there a character named Scorpion in Spidey and Friends? And she goes, no, there's no Scorpy, which is so funny because I'm like, they would call him that because they call Spider-Man Spidey and they call Goblin Gobby. They never once call him Green Goblin. He is Gobby. So it's funny that she, like, just because the show determined, he would be called Scorpion. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, it's just funny the mind of a 3-year-old. Like, yeah, they would just call him Scorpy. But due to the events of She-Hulk and Brave New World, Bruce is at his wit's end and insanely stressed because his fear of people having easy access to become the Hulk is a reality.
Fair.
Which, yeah, I guess is
fair.
That
would stress me the hell out for sure.
I guess so, but is that his battle really to do? Like, I guess he created it a bit, but it's just like, is that like... I don't know. There's a whole world of heroes that, like, does he have to stress
that's his
that
thing,
much about it?
Like, that's like his trademark. It's like copyright infringement. It's like a legal battle.
That's why he's really worried. This is one, again, that I think was a note that Tobey and Andrew's story will conclude after Secret Wars. It's like, I don't think... I think Sony already missed the boat there. We could have got more, but I think that will close that loop, whether they die or not. And then
they'll come back in 20 years again.
Of course, can't wait. And then the last note I had here was right now, again, don't know who the character is, but Say Sing's character specifically listed as an ally to Peter, but not to Spider-Man. So again, that just gives me more hope it's Gwen. I really hope it's Gwen. I hope we're going down that route right there. So
bring it on. Yeah, I'd love that.
Espo says, I feel like the symbiosis poster would just be like in the background detail or Easter egg, not something important to the movie. I agree, but it is still a weird, like when Dylan says in the world, right? Like, why would it be there? But unless it is just them trying to like egg us on and
Actually,
see
you
those
remember that
Easter eggs.
scene in Far From Home and Mysterio's like in Peter's head and he's in like that poison like fake world? I feel like in that scene, I could picture there being like weird symbiosis posters.
That's
so
true.
You know what? I could see it. Like a Scorpion or Scorpy hits him with like a poison dart. He's tripping out and he sees a poster. Sure, why not?
Scorpy, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll see. So, no, that's everything. I'm very excited, though, to get either way. The fact that, like, maybe I didn't say this. I feel like it's a given. You know, you brought Pew Boys. Like, I think Pew and anything's, like, that enhances the movie, but also very excited for her and Tom Holland to have a scene. Even though we're booking, like, oh, we'd like Bertha, we'd like Hulk. Her and Holland alone there's going to be some good stuff there. So I can't wait. And hopefully that sets up some good team dynamics for maybe Avengers or Secret Wars or whatnot. But speaking of team dynamics and Avengers, we got some rumors here so I'm going to hit you. Luckily, this news came out today and you're a Doctor Strange guy. So good thing I can hit you with that. So I'm going to hit you with this one first, that apparently Doom's plot or one of his plots or story, whatever, he's going after people who have caused incursions. And the list so far would include Monica Rambeau, Doctor Strange, Steve Rogers, Peter Parker, Scarlet Witch, and stay with me, Venom. Because if you think about it, you know, Venom, No Way Home, we went there. So what do you think about that as far as like, okay, the worlds are collapsing, there's a bunch of stuff going on, and Doom's idea, like it almost sounds like he's going to go around taking these characters out to maybe stop these incursions. I don't know, but what do you think about that as far as that would be, you know, kind of like Thanos where, oh, my idea is to save the world, we're going to make it half. This kind of gives Doctor Doom a somewhat good guy point of view because like, well, I'm just trying to help because I'm trying to stop these people that have caught, like went back in time they shouldn't have or went to a different universe and they shouldn't have. Like, how do you feel about that as a log line for Doom potentially in Doomsday?
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to think about like how does this. And obviously, I don't have like the comic book background to just dig through like the past stories, but thinking about like, okay, how is this going to be a two-parter for Avengers? Like, how does the Secret Wars part connect with Doomsday? And I guess there could be something to do with that, where like Doomsday is, you know, part of that isn't him being full-on villain, and maybe Secret Wars is more of that kind of thing. So interesting idea. Can you toss me that list one more time so I can?
So Monica Rambeau. So obviously that happened in. Even though I've only watched the Marvels once. I felt like she didn't cause it. Yeah, but like, remember, there's like an incursion happening, and then she does some like, I'm gonna go save us. And she goes, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed. Maybe
did that happen?
Maybe it was her powers. Does anyone in the chat remember how the incursion happens in Marvels? Maybe it was just her powers, and we're forgetting. But she like sacrifices herself, and that's how she ends up in the X-Men world, right?
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Strange is always messing with stuff. Like I feel like multiple times he's done something. Well, even then too, because remember Clea, she says like.
He literally says the word incursion.
Yeah, and I can't remember what he did to cause it, but like he did something. Rogers, we know what he did there. He went back, like he stayed where he wasn't supposed to, right? With Peggy, that's going to be the one. I think they haven't said that, but I just feel like that's you were supposed to drop these stones off and come back. You weren't supposed to stay there and enjoy your time. Peter Parker, obviously, that was No Way Home. Venom, that was like No Way Home, and Scarlet Witch. Yeah. I'm not sure what that could be. Maybe you could argue
going to the alternate universes with her kids and stuff
true.
Like that. Yeah,
even creating those kids, you might argue that could have caused some imbalance, right? Which is, it's funny because I feel like I remember when we reviewed back in the day, me, Tanner Kirk, when we reviewed WandaVision, and if you remember, WandaVision was the same year No Way Home was coming up. So when she did all that stuff, I remember all of us were like, oh, that's how Toby and Andrew get here. That's how the villains, because clearly it's going to be this ripple. But then in each movie, those never happened. It was always someone, like, it was a new character breaking the multiverse rules or the timeline. So that's one thing I like in in a storyline way of like, none of this was actually planned, but if you do it this way, it kind of makes it look like it was planned. Like, hey, Dr. Doom saw what's going on and you guys are abusing it. My only hang up though is where I'm lost on this working, if it's true, is with Thanos, his plan was, hey, to make the universe better, we got to half it. But then obviously that's like, well, that's immoral. Like you're killing billions of people, right? I need to know why. What's the villain hook for Doom? Because to me, if they go, hey, Steve Rogers, you going in the past caused an incursion that could kill a bunch of people, you have to die now. I can't say Doom's like wrong in that, right? Because it's just Steve being very selfish. Not saying he doesn't deserve it, but it's like if you're causing this, you kind of have to. You have to go away. So that's why I'm trying to wait. Like, what is unless there's a way where the heroes can not die.
Also,
right?
kind of just discussed in Loki, right? In terms of having like the what do they call it, the golden timeline or whatever it was, and trying to like snip the other passages because like there's only this one, but like
the sacred timeline.
Yeah, sacred timeline. There you go. It like kind of just comes down to perspective in terms of what you think is right. I mean, I guess if there's like this theory that if they just let it go crazy, that eventually it'll all crash and everyone will die. Well, then obviously want to avoid that. So it's like, yeah, why would Steve be allowed to do this when like other people cannot? So
and I feel like Steve would sacrifice himself too if you're to say, hey, like everyone, let's say they just come to say, hey, that universe you came from, everyone's gonna die if you don't do this.
He'd be like, I got one more week with her. I can die happy with that.
Yeah, exactly. Unless, like I said, unless to me the only pitch is that whether it's Strange or somebody has a pitch where, hey, we can fix the incursions without having to kill people, and Doom's method is like, I'm just gonna kill people. That's how I think maybe they'll do the villain side. Is the heroes say, hey, we could save everybody and stop the incursions, where Doom's gonna say, like, let's not risk that. Let's just kill these people and just take them out right away. You know, which is again some similar vibes to Infinity War and whatnot. But you know, it's I think that's gonna happen. So
yeah. But going back to what you said there of like all these, rather than it being one event that seemingly opened the multiverse and got us into the multiverse saga, you're right. It was super messy, and that's like ultimately, Feige's there. He's the watcher. He's overseeing everything, and he's like putting his little fingers and stuff. But like ultimately, these movies are written by different people and directed by different people, and so everyone is probably just given the directive like, oh yeah, make a time, bust open the timeline in some way, and they all kind of go at it in a different way. But specifically in the case of Doctor Strange, this makes me curious of like Clea having that line of like, oh, we got to go fix the mistake you made of creating this incursion, and so it's like. I always assumed that was just like a setup for the next Doctor Strange, but if that was all the way back then actually a setup for what was then Kang Dynasty and has now been like reworked to Doomsday, that is very smart and cool. And even if it was intended for Doctor Strange, and they're like, you know what, we can actually pivot this, and it can actually like kind of segue into Doomsday is also kind of nice and kind of convenient and cool. So I don't know. It sounds like. Yeah, if they make this all work, sure. I think it will be messy no matter what. I mean, obviously, I don't even know what phase we're on. That's how messy things have gotten. That it's like impossible.
F4 was the start of phase 6.
There you go. But like, Thunderbolts ended phase 5. What? Like, what does that have to do with anything? It's extremely random. But so it's all very messy. But I'm curious to see how it all comes together. I guess like. I don't know, would F4 be in that realm too? Like, I guess they will have by the time they're in Doomsday, in theory, if they're in 616.
Right.
Obviously, if they were like, I don't know if I want to spoil that movie, but like there's things in there that are, I don't know if they'd call as an incursion, like quote unquote, but they're doing crazy science stuff that could seemingly cause things like that to happen.
Well, I feel like even what Doom is wanting from that family would cause an incursion, right? You would think?
Yeah.
So that's where maybe they kind of equal each other out, where they don't count because he kind of needs their help to fix X, Y, and Z. You know, so
I also feel like Ant-Man, Deadpool, like events of those movies.
Deadpool and Wolverine should definitely be on. But that's the thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. I could see them being on the list, but this rumor is specifically for Doomsday, so that's why I could see that being for Secret Wars. You start to dive into more of those other.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like,
right?
do you think that this plot point is like a section of the movie where Doom is teaming up with all these different people tackling these incursions, or is it strictly this like Doctor Strange one, and that's the one that's like leading the whole plot of like that section of the movie?
I think it's going to be all these ones, because I could see that. I do think, unfortunately, I think it's going to have very similar vibes to Infinity War, where it was Thanos going all these different places getting the stones, right? I think this is Doom going all these different universes. Like, I think with Monica, I think there's no mistake that she's in the X-Men universe, and we're getting like the Fox X-Men universe, supposedly, right?
But not,
and we're getting them, right?
But not that guy. I always forget his name. That guy who played Beast. He was not on a chair, right?
Yeah, he is. I think so. Yeah,
is
Kelsey Grammer, Avengers chair. What a thing to search up. Let's see here. Yeah, he is. He was on a chair. So
okay, I was gonna say then, like, is that funky? But no, that actually could be the perfect segue of how that crew gets connected with 616.
So like, you got them, you got F4, and then you got the MCU crew, which also the MCU crew is Spider-Man, again, but also to that list, like that's the thing where, like, the two that to me, all these make sense. Peter Parker, that's easy, he's in there. Monica, she's in the X-Men universe. Doctor Strange, Steve Rogers makes sense. The two that are the interesting ones for me are one, Venom, because that would to me imply you're going to get Tom Hardy, which I don't think is
there's baggage with that for
sure. There is, but at the same time, I think it is kind of funny if we're closing the X-Men universe. They have said they're not doing any more Sony Spider-Man like universe stuff right now, so that could be a fun way to use Doomsday as like a way to like, oh, that's why we're not seeing Morbius, and that's why we're not seeing it because like Doom takes that out, right? But and don't get me wrong, as much as I don't like those movies, I would, if Feige were to sit me down and be like, hey, do you think Tom Hardy would add any numbers to the box office as Venom? I'd say, yeah, he would, right? Like, I think people do like him.
Those
so,
movies are big,
and then, that one's curious as far as, okay, what happens there? But then that last one, Scarlet Witch, to me is curious because as of right now, she's like dead, right? But I always thought she'd be dead and then she'd be resurrected. This would infer that she's maybe already alive and out there somewhere, and Doom's like looking for her if she's on his hit list, right? So that's where I'm not too sure how that works. Like, is it a situation where she's in a bubble somewhere? Is it a situation where she's been alive for a while and just in hiding? Like, that's what was, because I know Scarlet Witch is going to be in there. It's just that's what I'm very curious of how they bring her back, particularly just in the sense of where we left off with her, right, and stuff. Because I thought she would have been back before.
Cope, but I've always felt like she's alive. She was not killed by those rocks, and she's just been hiding away. Maybe she's like Voldemort, where she got shrunk down to like a baby. She had to like grow again. Not actually doing that, but like something, that kind of idea. Had to regain her power, reinvent herself.
I have to bring. I don't think I have. I guess the tweet, but I have. Let me bring in because I didn't send you, Dylan. But it's a question. We got a Patreon question from John with no H, but it's going to go right into what we're talking about here. Where can I find it? But the other part of the story was so this can set up Strange teaming up with Doom wouldn't make sense if Doom is after the other ones that cause incursions. Wasn't Strange a major participation in No Way Home? And that's what I wonder, because that was this other rumor going around that in, I don't know, it's Doomsday or Secret Wars, about one of those that there's going to be kind of some sort of trio team between Doom, Clea, and Strange, and that might pose Strange as the villain. Now, we don't know if this is like a variant of Strange, right? But I think that could be the way where even if he's on Doom's hit list, that I have more uses for Doctor Strange and his power set, right? He might not be worth just killing. Where like Peter, you could just kill, right? Like he's very powerful and whatnot, but like he's not opening up any portals where Doctor Strange is going to happen. And obviously the Russos said this was taken from the last Avenger or the last movie, but they're in that big concept art leak that happened at the beginning of this year. There was multiple images of Doom and Strange together. So I think that's going to happen.
Whether it's, I hope it's not a mind control thing, but even if
Doom
I
hope not.
Working with Strange just because of his power, using it for his power, and somehow convinces him that he needs to help for some reason, I think that would be really interesting to see, especially after obviously, Doom is being played by Downey, and just thinking about the back and forth that Downey and Cumberbatch had in Infinity War, all that's like I really liked their scenes together, and so to have them working with each other still, and like you think he would question that if he ever sees Doom's face, but like I don't know, maybe Doom just has the mask on the whole time, and so he can't actually like see that it's Downey and be like, wait, what's going on here? This is, or maybe he uses that to his advantage. Maybe he's like, hey, I'm Tony. Help me out with this thing.
That's what I hope happens. Yeah.
As this guy who sacrificed myself for everyone else, so that could be he could use that to his advantage. I mean, I feel like he's got to do something like that, right? If he's dipping all his universes, he's probably seen that there is this guy that looks a whole lot like him.
I really hope, at least with the 616 characters, that's the route they go, where they show up and he's friendly and he just seems like he's Iron Man, but then that switch happens and it's like, oh no. Even though there's, I don't know, I know people have had this theory, because I don't know if, I think Downey, he shared a lot of comic book covers, but I think he shared one cover, which was for a storyline of Doom controlling bodies. So some people have this theory, which I don't know if I like, but some people have this theory that this Doctor Doom is a Iron Man variant, but Doom has taken over his body, so he can do that, right? So he could go to the 616 and be, hey, I'm your friend Tony Stark, and then in the future that would leave room for them to cast another one. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest fan of the RDJ as Doom thing, but it's kind of like what you said with the mind control or like, I'd rather it just be a bad Iron Man. You kill him off, then you meet a Doom down the line. I don't know if I need like. I guess that's a big goal. Is there's a Doom behind everything, and he's just using people. But I don't know. I don't know if I
I'm
want
with
that
you,
route.
and like,
You know.
yeah, initially when it happened, I was not stoked with the Downey casting, but like they already confirmed that, so now I want them to do it right. You know, like I don't want to get like a half-assed version of it. I want it to be good. So
Yeah,
I see what you mean. I'm with
Oh,
you.
and what I was gonna say, because you said some, so back on the Strange thing, I just want to say, because with Infinity War, that movie showed that he was willing to sacrifice himself, give the time stone to win in the end, right? So it's the same way of if he has to team up with Doom for a little while, which who knows, in these movies could be like a couple of years, right? But if he has to do that, he will. To me, the way I look at it, and I don't think it's gonna have the same result because I think Strange will survive this saga and go into the next one, but I think it would be a very Snape to Voldemort situation where Snape is there, he helps him commit many bad things, but it's
Right.
to eventually give Harry Potter the smoking gun of the tear, and then you can reveal, okay, X, Y, and Z, that's how you kill Voldemort. I
Very
think Strange.
classic to him seeing the 10 million timelines and being like, okay,
Yes.
there's a very specific way this has to get done. Yeah.
So I think maybe even let's, because that'd be cool. Imagine if Doomsday ends and Doctor Strange turns on our heroes, and they don't let us in the viewer know that he's doing that to help us out, but we just think, oh man, Strange has turned evil. What's wrong with Steven? What's happened? But then in Secret Wars, he reveals, well, I just had to do that. So that's why I think if he's with Doom, I don't see a universe where they just take the Doctor Strange we know, they kill him, and he's a villain, and then that's it with Benedict Cumberbatch. That would be strange. But also, no pun intended, but also one of my favorite things, and we've talked about this before, in What If, there's multiple variations where you see Strange does become a villain, so you can play on that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to, like, is that too, have we seen that too many times? Because we got it in What If, we got it in Multiverse, where we saw, like, that other version of him too, right? Like, we've kind of been there, done that to some extent. Unless this is, like, straight up taking our 616 and, like, having him turn. Like, I'd rather do that than another variant of him being evil.
That could be it, because even though they're kind of playing on the storyline, I think it's in the Ultimate Run where they do a story where Reed finds out that all the variations of him in the multiverse are all evil except for him, and he's kind of like broken by that. So I wonder if they could, because I don't think we're anywhere near that with Reed right now, right? I wonder if they could use that storyline of, hey,
I like that.
Like, Steven, this is kind of your destiny. Like, no matter what happens, you are going to end up, it's for the greater good, but you're going to have to make some sacrifices, and they could play on that, and then he makes that hero turn. I was going to say, I agree with you because Multiverse Madness, but I guarantee you there's still a huge percentage of people that have never seen What If, right? So for them, they only saw it once in Multiverse of Madness, so it's not like a tired concept, where in What If, he came back multitude of times as this Demon Strange and the Supreme Strange and all this stuff, and it's been a while, right? Multiverse Madness was what, 22? So at this point, it's going to be 4 years. So there's some space in between that. So, we'll
what
see.
What about Loki? What about, he's an incursion? He's ripping up incursions, right?
Yeah, but I feel like the tough thing with him is where he is. I just don't know if Doom can get to him. I think I agree. I think it was last year we talked about this. There was those reports of Loki might be like a MacGuffin to the story, and I could see that, because I could see it's like if imagine if Doom can get on that chair that controls all these timelines,
that would be bad. Yeah.
It's game over, right? So that's why I feel like maybe that's why he would keep Strange of, hey, I'm trying to get to Loki, I can't get to him. You're gonna help me in Secret Wars find a way to get to this guy because he can control everything. So I think Loki would definitely be on the list. I think it's just that, can Doom get to him on said list? He might be out of reach on that chair, with those horns.
And I think, probably the original, like, they've probably added in a couple of these other characters into the mix to do these roles, probably because, like, Ant-Man maybe was supposed to be a big, doorway for this stuff, but they just probably really want to differentiate. Like, obviously, he's still in this movie. We know he was on a chair. Just him, though, none of the other people. Cause,
right, I kind of forgot.
Imagine Lily is, like, retired, right, and then his daughter's not in this, right? But, I think they just want to, they don't want to make you have seen Quantumania to understand this. So
yes.
they don't want to dive too deep into that, which makes sense.
Yeah, we're gonna see. It's gonna be fun, because soon, I don't know if we're getting anything at D23. That's happening in August, but next year Comic-Con, that lead up, it's gonna be interesting to see what all happens there. So let's take our last ad break, and then we're gonna talk about multiverses. We're gonna talk some big multiverse stuff right now. So we'll be right back. And we are back. So usually, on Side Quest we cover this, but I think Batman guy, so maybe that's what you're fine with covering here. Plus, it's
I needed some info from you that Kirkland, he's a Batman fan, but I needed from the #1 Batman fan.
It's not the Spidey Lego legacy game, right? It's the Dark Knight legacy Lego. Exactly. But yeah, this was something that was rumored, I think, a couple months ago, and I'm happy that it's real. So it seems like, well, it doesn't seem like they are. They announced that they're doing Lego Batman, the Legacy of the Dark Knight. So I guess what's a little bit different is the first report and rumors were that it was covering each film. It does look like it is doing that, but it looks like it's kind of more like an amalgamation or tribute to said things, right? Because there's something where it's like you have Jeffrey Wright's Gordon, who's going to be in the Nolan franchise, and that's where I think it's just kind of it's going to be like a love letter to that. But I guess I should say it is a Batman Lego game. They haven't said like how many levels, but it looks like it's going to be kind of covering the whole gamut of most of the live action stuff. Even in the first trailer that came out, people were wondering if even the Snyder stuff was going to be there, because the first trailer, none of that was in there. But today it was confirmed that the BVS Batmobile's in there. So I think they are covering everything. They even confirmed that the animated series Batmobile's in there. They confirmed that there's characters like a Nightwing that's never been in a Batman movie that's going to be in this game. So there's tons of stuff. And then I can lead off. There's some details, because now this has been on the Gamescom floor. So it's going to follow Bruce Wayne's entire story. Don't know what that means. Incorporate elements from each Batman film. It's going to be an open world experience. So I think it's going to be similar to the Skywalker one, or like the Marvel
Arkham City kind of.
Yeah, but even like for Lego, like the Marvel superhero one, like that was Open City, New York. Confirmed playable characters: Jim Gordon, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Catwoman, Talia. I shouldn't even read that, because the confirmed playable list is going to be like a wall of just like characters. Like it's going to be so many. It's like Goon #1.
Was that kind of because there's been 3 Lego Batman games and then 1 DC like villain thing, I think, right? Like, are those the 4 DC Lego?
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, like in those Batman games, was there like a huge number of characters you could play as? Could
you
play
could
all the villains and stuff?
Yeah, you could play all the villains. So I think everyone you've seen here, it's gonna happen. This has it wrong, but I think this has it wrong. This little thing I have from this Lego website, so my bad. But there's 3 difficulties. I don't have the name right now, but the first 2 difficulties, I think the first difficulty is really like old school Lego. The second difficulty is still unlimited lives, but then the third one, which I don't know if this is the case, the third one does have a limit on lives. So where you can just fall off, get killed all the time. That seems like it is harder, and it's kind of funny in the menu screen, like the level of difficulties. It's like 1 goon, 2 goons, and then the third one's like 3 goons, but one of them's like a massive goon.
That's like the Pattison difficulty, I feel like.
Yeah, it is. So can you think of any Lego game that like has done that, where it's like you would just die?
A Lego game that like has a difficulty setting. I'm sure it's happened before. Like I know it like once you get like the not the minifigs, but like you get a bunch of those collectibles that you can pick up, and then you can like put on different crazy costumes and stuff. And I think some of those probably make the game harder, I would imagine. But yeah, like that's not something I really think of much with Lego games, is the difficulty. I'm sure it's been in there for different ones though.
Yeah, and then you got, because also I'm going to pull up our Discord and say,
although S-Club says he thinks this is the first ever Lego game with the difficulty setting, so that could be the case. But yeah, that was my main question, which you've already kind of answered, is like it seemed to me like this is kind of a bit of a Lego Skywalker Saga version of this, and so I was wondering, is this like kind of a compilation of Lego Batman 1, 2, and 3 plus like some new things? But it seems like no, it seems like this is kind of a fresh new experience, even though I was looking it up, and I guess some of the movie stuff has been in those games, even though they weren't based on any movie in particular. So maybe it's going to pull like certain elements from those other ones out there. I'm guessing you've played like all 3 of those over the years.
I played all of them except for the Supervillains one, because I just think I heard that was just kind of fine. I didn't hear like anything great about that. But oh man, do you not actually have I guess Streamer doesn't let you share Discord and whatnot. I was trying to share all these images here. Oh, that's odd. But anyways, I'll go back to it's gonna be local co-op, so no online co-op, but local co-op, so that's fun. The Batcave is gonna have customized displays for Batsuits, vehicles, and more. But they have shown that Gordon, Batman, like they've only shown off 5 Batman suits right now. They showed the Batman one, Dark Knight, Brave and the Bold, Golden Age, and then the Rainbow suit. And then when you go down, there's like a bunch of suits. Even Commissioner Gordon is going to have a bunch of stuff. So that's really interesting as well, because I know you kind of would get that in games where it's like, okay, you got like Hermione and the cat. But like this is looking like it's going to be more like quite diverse
Does
as
that
far as how
make
much.
you think that maybe that it actually will be a smaller roster of characters this time around? Or is it just for like these main 3 or 4 that you get like a shit ton of costumes for them? But then for like Joker, you get like, the damaged variant and the regular variant.
Like those characters, when it said confirmed playable characters include Jim Gordon, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Catwoman, Talia. Maybe take out Talia, but like those 6 and Batman, I could see like, okay, this is the core of the Bat family that are But at the same time, it's like that's tough for me to argue that you wouldn't want to do Joker, right? Because Joker in this made, which was it's very fun. They have the Heath Ledger Joker, so he has like the regular face and the paint and stuff. But there's so much out there, and like Espos is saying, they show a version of Zoe Kravitz, but with the Pfeiffer suit. So that's where it's just like, yeah. So they're mix and matching everything and stuff like that.
So
but
funny. I've like obviously seen a few Batman things, but like,
yeah,
I barely picked up on any of the specific things that were going on there. Like I saw that one shot on like the bridge, penguin scene from the Batman.
Yes.
But yeah, there's not a lot of things that I was able to pick up the details. That's why I needed you to break this down with me, because I'm like, I don't have the knowledge to know all these specific scenes.
Yeah, well, that's why there's pretty much everything. The only thing people hadn't seen stuff was from BVS, and then the other one was the 66. Now it's conflicting because when they showed that suit, there's the Brave and the Bold suit where he's like the blue and the gray. People thought, oh, that's them covering the 66 stuff, but then they said that was from something else. It was from the animated series, so we'll see. I hope they give some love to Batman 66, but yeah, this was the difficulty thing I was talking about where, and thank you to Espos for sharing a bunch of this stuff. But yeah, so that's where it's at. Yeah, so limited lives, more enemies, advanced enemy types that will appear more frequently. That's the hardest one. So yeah, so that's I kind of maybe they're doing that just because they know like there's a lot of people that grew up with the game and they're adults now, so maybe they just don't want the full just kind of kiddie version of it to put it in there. And then this was a big one. We've seen this from multiple places. It's not been confirmed by devs yet, but in the Arkham games, they're known for having very challenging Riddler trophies. Now, I don't know if they're going to be as challenging, but the fact that multiple places are saying that Riddler puzzles are scattered throughout Gotham, even then, this is what's so crazy. There's one moment in this trailer where he sprays the bat symbol and a gel and it blows up. That's specifically from the Arkham games. So that's where it's like, even though they're saying, oh, we're tributing all these movies, it feels like they're tributing kind of every big Batman thing that's happened. Like the Arkham stuff, like the Riddler's, open world, and now just certain moves that he does. And even then they said that, what is the quote here? I have it. It's like, the game includes an Arkham-style combat system, which is not what I would think for a Lego game.
I want to read from the Steam page. It says, play as Batman with an exhilarating new combat system combining fluid combos, stealth techniques, and detective skills. So even that kind of stood out to me of like, I wouldn't really describe any of the Lego games as like having a combat system. I guess like they do
very
kind of,
button
but it's like,
mashing,
you
right?
have like 3 slashes with your lightsaber if you keep hitting. So I imagine this is going to take on like, because I don't know, did those other Lego Batman games have like the Arkham kind of combat, or was it still like basic Lego stuff?
I think most of those were made before Arkham as well too. I have to maybe around the similar time.
There must have been some crossover.
Lego Batman, the first one, let's see, game. Because I know the first Arkham game came out in 2009, and then Lego Batman was 2008. So it was like kind of right before that. So, but no, most of them was the same as it would be like, you're Batman, punch, spin kick.
That's where the difficulty,
do that again.
like that's cool. I think some people are going to be really into that. Like, are you going to play this on the hardest difficulty, or are you going to be
yes, I'm going to
the lower ones?
I'm going to do both because I know the girls, they've been really enjoying right now they're playing through Lego Harry Potter. We talk about side quests, and they're almost done. They're now doing like getting all the crests and getting all the red bricks. They're about to go into 5 to 7. So I'll do both because with them I'll play the one where the unlimited lives for now because they're used to that and that's fun. But I definitely will have a slot that is just the Travis Dad slot, and that's where I'll be going hard. And Espop says he's seen a bunch of footage, and it's literally a 1-to-1 of the stealth and combat of Arkham, which is to me
super cool.
Crazy. That's like, I'm kind of surprised. Like I thought it was like, okay, some tributes, but like that's very surprising and fun, especially because the Arkham game's pretty far away. But there's Rainbow Batman.
Yeah, this rainbow suit for Batman. That's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool. Like seeing TT Games, which for many, many years there were just like, they were just pumping these Lego games out. And, I haven't played all of them, but like when I played, Lego Incredibles, I was like so disappointed because like this game just had no love or care or probably, it just didn't have the time or budget, right? It was just like, you got to get this out before Incredibles 2. We don't care if this game sucks. You just got to get it out the door. And I feel like they were pumping them out, and then it feels like at some point, I don't know what it was like a market thing, or they just felt like budget-wise, I'm not sure, but like Skywalker Saga, I didn't love that necessarily, but they really took their time. There's a lot in that game. They reinvented, like recreated all these levels, and it seems like they're doing that here for Batman as well, which is really cool to see. Not that it's a recreation of these previous games, but that it's like a really fully fledged game and not just like TT games, just like throwing out another, something to line up with the Batman 2 or something, right? Like this seems like it has some love behind it, which is cool. And like even like them putting it on the show floor of Gamescom, maybe they've done that with other Lego games. I'm sure they have in the past, but I don't know. It just seems like they're really excited about this and that they think it's more than just TT Games making another Lego Batman game. It's like, this is not Lego Batman 4. This is like, oh yeah, we're going at it with like a whole new Batman experience.
This feels different than usual Lego games, and I kind of hope I feel like with the Lego, and maybe that's like a good side quest episode too. I feel like there's evolution points. Like I remember because it's one of my favorites, when I got Marvel Superheroes, and it was I think I could be wrong, but I think it's the first one, at least to that scope, when it had that massive open New York.
Yep.
And that's where I was like, wow, this is not what I was expecting from a Lego game, right? And I feel like there's certain times where Lego does something where, okay, for about 4 to 6 years, they make games just like this. And then something happens, and then they do a game, and then it changes, whether it's good or bad, right? Because I agree with you, there was a moment where they started, I think The Hobbit was one of those type of games too, where it's like, get out for The Hobbit. And that was, because I remember too, I think it has like a weird Marvel thing when it ends, and it's like, get ready for the next chapter of Lego Hobbit. Yeah, Mike's taking the words right from my mouth that they promoted, we're going to do more, and they just never made it.
This is hilarious. One of the things you're supposed to do for SideQuest tonight was gaming trivia. That was one of mine, was like, what movies are in Lego The Hobbit? So I'll have to come up with a new question now, but that was one of them.
There you go.
Like,
yeah.
It's so weird that game didn't even have Battle of Five Armies in it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No. And that's where, like I said, that's a good, maybe like not to play them all, but look them all us for us to do a topic one time, or even a bread and butter, because it'd be good to track down of like The Incredibles, The Hobbits. What was Hobbit the first game, or what was the first game that was like the rush, get this out here in the Lego aesthetic and just get some sales, right? Because like you said, they're doing that for a while now. I'm kind of hoping, like, I know Espos is joking, but when he says it's not Lego Batman 4, it's Arkham 4 and Lego. If this is as good, it's one of these things where it's just like, I don't want to get too hyped, but if it's as good as they're promising, I want them to do this. We were talking about earlier, give this treatment to Spider-Man, give this treatment to other IPs, but like to me, for Marvel, it's like
Spider-Man would be cool.
Spider-Man's right there. Yeah. Like, because now Spider-Man at this point has, let's say, you got the 3 movie, you got 3 Tobys, you got 3 Toms and 2 Andrews. And even then, if they're doing stuff in this game for the Batman animated series, which was so funny because Mike was like, I wish they do some of that. And I was like, I wish, but I just don't see that, where this feels like now that the Batmobile's in there, it's like, okay, this is a love letter to multitude of facets. Same thing. Spider-Man, the 60s animated show, the 90s animated show that you and I love, like even Spider-Verse, right? You could throw those in there. Like you could do that's where it's like, cool. That's why I kind of hope this is the next step of more like Lego games we get, whether it's IP or not. Like I've not tried, and I'm not going to be playing the Horizon one, but I would even be down if they made some sort of like, hey, this is Lego the game, but this is to tribute the whole past of Lego. So it's like, whether it's using all like the pirates and like all the castles, medieval, like get some Bionicles in there. Like I love this. Like this is the Lego legacy game, and it's like encapsulating all that. So this does feel like it could potentially be a big jumping off point for Lego, because it does, like you said, it feels like they're treating this one a little differently, and it's showing a little differently too. And I hope it's great. This is now a day one for me. So
yeah. And I forget what the DLC packs were for Skywalker Saga, but I think they were mostly character packs, and they featured, I think, like Rogue One, or like movies that maybe weren't featured in that. Obviously, the Skywalker Saga was supposed to be the 9 films in each of those stories. That's already a lot to ask for. It's hard to be like, okay, where's Rogue One? Why isn't it in there? But at least like through character packs. But I could see them doing that for this, like when Batman 2 comes out, have a little character pack of getting all those costumes, those new versions in there, maybe even a level or a mission. Because I guess you wouldn't really add new levels. I guess you were just kind of building it out within the map of Arkham. You could add new areas off the side or new buildings that you could go in to add new sections in there. I'm curious to see how they do that as well. I guess in like Marvel and stuff, you would like teleport to different areas, but obviously like New York was kind of like the hub world of it all.
Yeah.
So I guess they would do that for, but I don't know. Batman's usually like in Gotham, right? He's not usually like, going different realms.
And that's where
stuff,
Spider-Man works, right? Too. You just put him in New York, and all the stuff is happening around there, so that works. And see, that's one thing I'll put, because Super Mike says they did that. It's called Lego Dimensions. The difference with that, though, so my pitch is of two different things. My pitch is tributing Lego, not Lego IP. Like, we all, before Lego Star Wars, whatnot, at least I feel like my generation of kids and, you know, people my age, we just fell in love with Lego. Like I said, like the pirate sets, the medieval, like that's what I mean, like going that. And the thing with Dimensions, though, that was, you got to buy the game, and then like an Infinity character, you got to buy this pack and this pack.
Right.
I'm saying don't do that. Like, put it all in the game. And I'm saying not IP, just tribute Lego. Like, if you could make something that has like, oh, this has a distinct fighting style, this has all these costumes, like I suppose brought up, like the Batman Slayer had like 20 different outfits. Like, that's what I'd say is something kind of, you know, I never played the Lego movie, the game, but something like the way the Lego movie, it did have some IP, but it was also a big tribute to just Lego. I think they could do that. Granted, IP's always the smarter route, and I'm sure they just do, Spider-Man, but like...
Well, they have that other one they announced recently, I can't remember the name, which is not good for the marketing of that game, but it's like that co-op platformer thing, and that doesn't have like an IP to it. It's just like an interesting like puzzle platformer co-op experience. And I have it written down on a list somewhere. I can find it on my backlogged here. But like that game looks great. And then they had that other one.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember the name of any of these freaking games. But yeah, like they have other non-IP ones that are actually really cool, and some of them, like the visuals are actually cracked. Like they look like insane. So I don't know. I think they are doing some cool stuff, but I think it's probably a good thing overall that TT Games has like slowed down development on things. So it's taking longer to get these things, but we're getting better games. Than even like the Horizon one wasn't even made by TT Games, right? It was just the Lego IP, but it was made by a different studio altogether.
Did you ever play? But you had to play
Lego Voyagers. City. That's the one I was thinking of, by the way.
Okay,
that's
Voyagers.
The new co-op platformer one.
Did you play Lego City Undercover?
I did not, but I've heard it's super good.
Oh man, yeah, we should. I don't know how to play those. Where they be on? That'd be worth the retro.
It's on Switch.
Is it actually on what?
I believe it's on Switch. Yeah.
Really? Because that suppose is right. Yeah, it's literally Lego GTA. And like, again, this is not just because I'm a Strikers fan. They had a great Lego soccer game as well. Their Lego soccer game was banging. There was me and my friend one time, like after middle school.
Switch. Yeah, it is on Switch.
Really? How much is that going for?
Dude, these Lego games go cheap. I have somebody on my wish list, and they're like, "Hey, $3 to pick up Lego."
Harry
DC
Potter
villains.
was $7. Harry Potter was $7. Yeah. But no, that's...
I'll add that to my... Because I think I don't even know if I have a wish list anywhere, but maybe I'll put that on my Switch wish list and try and pick it up for stream or something like that.
Yeah, like Lego did some great stuff. So that's where... So Lego Voyagers. Is there a date on Lego Voyagers yet?
I don't think so. Let me...
Okay, so no, because I remember...
2025 apparently.
Really?
September. Oh, September? God damn.
Oh,
that's coming out soon.
That is coming out soon.
I don't have that on my list. I got to put that on my list.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. And that's where building a better tomorrow, all this stuff. So that's where I think Lego. I think they kind of know this too. Where I think they just got in a holding pattern of just always. And I get it. They printed all the money of formula IP put together, do the same thing and go right. But I think even with Rise of Skywalker, which I agree, I never played it fully, but I've heard like mixed things on it. I feel like it is time for them to take some swings now. Obviously, Horizon not made by them, but Voyagers and Batman back to back, that gives me hope that we could get more stuff like Lego City Undercover in the future, or like I said, whatever, like a Lego Legacy game. Like I hope they could kind of, stretch out a little bit. Undercover being on Switch, that's. Ooh.
And looking it up, Voyagers, that's actually not made by TT Games. Once again,
really, okay,
delineation there. So it's like there are other studios now that are tackling Lego, which I don't know. I guess TT Games, I assume, had like maybe a monopoly on that for a while there, where they're the only ones allowed to make Lego games. But it seems like they're handing it out now because this one's published by Annapurna, developers Light Brick Studio. So yeah, it's good to just have like some variety in the mix there too. But this is definitely like a rising tide rises all boats kind of situation where it's like you get a game like Voyagers, people are feeling better about the Lego IP overall. Then they pick up the Batman thing. They don't know who makes these games. They just see, oh, it's Lego.
No, it's Lego.
Must be the same developer. But yeah, this is good. Good news.
Oh man, to September 3rd, I'm gonna buy this probably after this cast. Lego City Undercover right now is $6. It has an 85% sale right now.
Man, I need something to play on my Switch too. Maybe I'll grab that too.
Originally $40, now $6. Yeah, no, thank you, chat, for showing that because I didn't. But I didn't even know that was on there. I'm guessing Lego Soccer's not on there. If Lego Soccer's on there, that'd be something special.
I don't even know Lego Soccer. I don't think.
Let's see. It's titled Lego 2K Goal. A new Lego
What a crazy name. Lego 2K Goal.
I know. Yeah, that doesn't look like the original Lego one I did. Long rumored Lego football game is. No, I think that was a newer one. I'm talking about like in the 2000s here. But no, I'm very excited. So yeah, I know I'll begin that. Where are you on that? Because also I know you're not the biggest Batman guy, but I know you like Lego games. It's more like still wait and see. This is a sale. Where are you going to be on this?
You know what's funny? Like when Skywalker Saga was coming out, I was obviously like, I'm kind of in my extreme low for Star Wars hype.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is the thing. I love Lego Star Wars growing up. This is the thing that's going to get me hyped on Star Wars again. I'm going to love this so much. Picked it up. Did not like the game just because of like the way it was designed, I guess, to put it, lightly. We did a whole episode on Upside Quest if you want to go listen to that. So that didn't really like change much for me. So like this one's definitely on the radar for me, but knowing how deeply these games go on sale, this one will probably go on the wish list and I'll pick it up someday. But like, I don't know, like should I go back and play these old Lego Batman games at all? Like, or should I just kind of wait for this one to go on sale? You think?
I think it's tough because they always
obviously
still
having the movie connection for like the Nolan stuff. The new Batman,
that's gonna be something
really
else.
Seen. That's cool for me. I like those connections.
Yeah,
and obviously like, the newest, prettiest version is a nice selling point too.
It's tough because I feel like they're definitely those two are because I think Lego 2 has like minor open world stuff, or Lego Batman 2 has minor open world stuff, but Lego Batman 1 is just like the story, very like Skywalker stuff. So, like I don't know. I don't know. I think that it'd be more worth to wait to this one because I feel like. You've played that type of Lego game, and if you don't have the love for Batman, then it might not be worth it. Where this one, at least, even if you don't have the love for Batman, I think could offer something new to the Lego world. So I think you're fine away, unless it's like dirt cheap. Mike says the first one's super dated, so there you go.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you're on that side quest episode telling me all about this game, that I'm gonna be like, oh god, I got to pick this up. It might be one of those. So we'll see.
Well, I know Taylor says he's getting it too, so there could be a 3-way side quest. Yeah, because we our wallets got hit hard this week because that, and then the Michael Myers one. That's a day one for us too because I've been because I liked that Texas Chainsaw game a lot that we played, but it didn't hit the heights of Friday the 13th. Sure. And I think just because now that Michael's there, it's like, okay, this is looking similar. So yeah, but 2026 is getting really stacked right now for me because it's like GTA I assume is coming out, so you got GTA, you got now this, and then you got the Halloween game, and I think there's another 2026 game that's on our radar.
I mean,
that's
26 you got 007, you got Marvel Tokon, you got Fable in the mix.
Do you got Fable in the mix?
That's what they say.
Or are we gonna wake up one morning to like, oh, studios closed down and you have to,
you got so Resident Evil, GTA as you mentioned. So yeah, it's looking pretty stacked. I'm sure there's gonna be some big Nintendo.
That's the stuff we know too, right? We don't even know. Like, I feel like there's something else coming.
I had a bunch of other smaller ones. I'm trying to think what are like big Travesy kind of.
Yeah, is there not anything like Nintendo rumored?
Nothing yet, really.
We got. Oh, I guess the other one for me, the Trasty one you could be thinking is Marvel 1943, if that is still happening.
That's supposed to be next year?
Yeah, because remember it was supposed to be December, but they got kicked to next year. So, but
I don't remember that, but I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, and it's getting already a girthy.
Big Marvel year. Marvel Tokon, Rise of Hydra. That'd be a good 1-2 punch.
That would be
story game.
Yeah. Oh, and then that's the other one too. Is the Star Wars Zero Company? That
is that also supposed to be next year?
That's what it's listed as right now. It says 2026.
Man, I'm seeing these trailers and I'm not seeing a whole lot of substance, and I'm shy to go ahead and like assume they're coming out next year. But man, sure, why not?
Let me just see. Yeah, because it says it's on the EA website. Let's see. Electronic Arts, Respawn Entertainment, and published by
Those
EA and
two,
Lucasfilm
they're
Games.
like fall games, I think. So they're like over a year away, I guess.
But
yeah,
still, if they
technically
come out,
2026.
my save up, and save up $150 for GTA 6. That's the problem, because like I've said this year, I've tried to buy I buy new games, but ones I'm going to really dive deep in and play that. 2026 is a year that, like, luckily that Halloween game I don't think it's gonna be like a full 60, but there's a lot of stuff that is Bond, Star Wars, Marvel. If it all hits, and GTA, I will play. I'm gonna pay whatever they put there. I'm one of those suckers that whatever they put, whatever the price is, Travis will be there day one paying it. So
yeah, I'm with you. I'll be there.
So, well, there you go. We did it. Not too bad for throwing a episode together 2 hours before,
Yeah, super fun.
So
Super fun.
yeah, so there you go. So yeah, next week there's gonna be no newscast now because we're gonna record the extra side quest. I do have it on the calendar. When is it from? Is it next Wednesday? Oh yeah, next Wednesday. There's like a rumor that there's another chair reveal. It's from a very low source, but people are reporting it. But that's what's going to happen the next 2 weeks. We don't have a newscast plan. If there's like something massive, we will do like just one quick topic based on that. But we got lots of stuff between side quests and finish off some Patreon stuff and reviews. There's lots of stuff going on. So, but yeah, if anything big happens, of course we'll talk about that. And until I guess after 9, we'll catch you later, and it won't be boring.